And we're live. Welcome, everybody, to Comix Smack Talk Live. We got a special guest tonight, Jimmy Reyes in the house. And, of course, my partner in crime, as always, the ravishing Rob Hunter.
Why do you say ravishing? You should
Look
say
at you, man.
Raging.
Look at raging. I appreciate your rage.
Whoa, you can't steal my
in
rage.
Awe of your beauty.
You got to go with ravaging because rage is
Yeah.
taken. My book is raging. You know?
You're a handsome man, Rob.
Yeah.
There. Rage. I went to red. Raging.
As much as you try, you just can't. You can't ignore the splendor of your masculine visage.
One of my lights is now going blue, red, green, so I can't even get the lights right for it.
You guys, I gotta get some fucking lights. I gotta go to goddamn Walmart and get some like colored veils to put over a lamp or something.
Amazon, man.
They actually sell that on Amazon.
Amazon just has like the colored lights.
Mm-hmm.
No, right.
They got dude. Amazon has everything.
Well, what I want to do, what I really, really want to do. Oh, and I was at. Oh God, yeah. This is how much I don't prepare. But what I really want to do is I'm going to get 2 banners, one for Pirate Queen and one for Blue Bombshell, and have that as the backdrop, and then have like the red, blue color lights on the sides. Because
that'd be cool.
It would be if I ever get off my ass and do it. But you guys can time me right now, and that's a good 3-4 year project for me to actually.
No, well, that's the thing.
I know that looks.
There. Like, when you go on Amazon though, because now you're just
flea markets in Florida. Is that where you?
No, it's Amazon. So I appreciate the joke though.
Flea market, that was great, dude. I thought you were serious. I was like, oh. All right.
When you shop on Amazon, you can be sitting in your chair watching TV with the wife. You can shop on Amazon, and then there's not that procrastination where it takes forever to remember to pick something up at Walmart that's not groceries or whatever.
Yeah.
So then it just shows up. Then it only sits in a box for like 2 months. So you cut down on the procrastination by 1 month.
Yeah. Or in my case, everything's set for a year. I ordered all this. I ordered desks and lights and stuff, and it all just sat in a box for.
we got a few people in the chat already, so I want to give everybody a shout out that shows up early. Always appreciate the chat. Always big shout out to Comicsgate and everybody who comes in here. I got Pastmaster Dan in the house. What's up, Pastmaster? We got Southern Cecil, Dick Turtle right here, the original Dick Turtle. And appreciate you guys showing up and hanging out with us on a Sunday night.
Hey, Southern Cecil.
Yo, Cecil. Yeah. Southern Cecil.
We're mixing it up. We're me and Rob, like the show is, we're figuring it out as we go. We've been doing Thursday nights. There was a lot of competition last Thursday. Mm-hmm. And then we're trying out Sunday nights too. We're gonna look and see what's best. There's always a ton of competition with Comicsgate. There's just like there's a ton of creators, there's a ton of shows, so we absolutely appreciate everybody who shows up and checks out the show and hangs out with us to shoot the shit. And we want the chat to be like super involved. Like we're small enough where we're kind of shooting the shit with you as we go. So I want to keep posting the chat as much as you can. And if you got like some crazy ass topic for this week, like there was like me and Rob got a little challenged. Like the gauntlet was thrown at us. I think it was Marcus Kelliguru.
Yeah, I think it was Marcus.
And look, he's not even here to defend himself. But yeah, Marcus kind of kicked some sand on our face on the beach and said that we don't actually get to our topics.
I think he snapped your thong on the beach.
Yes.
Like, damn it.
And I was sunburned on my ass already. So
that's gotta hurt.
Yeah.
Let me try to decipher this. See if I can read it properly. This comment. It says the only eggplant swallowing turtle. Did I get it right?
Oh,
not right.
That's
not right. Okay.
Is that the correct definition, Cecil? No. Yeah, like it's It's a long eggplant. We shouldn't be trashing Cecil because he's the only one throwing up links right now. So.
I know. What are you doing, Jimmy?
Shots fired. Hey Cecil, thanks for backing our campaign, and also fuck you.
Jimmy's trying to sabotage us. Jimmy knows there's only so many nickels to go around, and if they don't go to Clint and I, that's extra nickels for Jimmy.
Bring us down from the inside. It's very Game of Thrones-esque.
That's really dark.
Very Machiavellian. That's all right though. I like having more people in chat.
It's cutthroat in here. So
I'll invite people that are just at a drop of a hat prepared to destroy me.
Yeah. If you think this is cutthroat,
hey, Rob, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer.
No, all I was gonna say is that if Comicsgate goes mainstream and we start like, hey, look, Jimmy sold 1 million copies, or Jimmy sold 125,000 copies, or like crazy, then it'll be really cutthroat. Then there'll be people hiring other live streams to compete.
No, it's cutthroat already. There's a lot of people out there that are trying to get their piece of the pie.
All I know, man, is I've heard the stories about the days of the boom, and when people were getting $200,000 checks on a monthly basis.
You're talking the mainstream Image in the late 90s,
yeah. When there was the big money in comics, if the big money shows up at Comicsgate, when the big money was in comics, dude, those guys were like,
it was cutthroat, and those guys, everybody's a freelancer. All those guys were. Why do you think all those the image guys, they're not really friends anymore? Like some of them will be like friendly to each other online, but those guys aren't friends, and it's like they all made each other millions of dollars.
Dude, Image, when all the books, that first first wave of books did really well, they invited some of the other creators to do books, and I remember hearing about one of the books sold a lot better than they expected, and that guy was out of Image. 2 months later, they booted him because they saw that their sales went down. They already saw that. Oh no, there is only so much pie going around for Image. And we brought in a new guy, and he just took a big slice of the pie.
Oh, sure.
Smaller pieces for us.
And the only reason they brought those other guys in is because they wanted to keep the ball rolling, because they couldn't. Yeah. They literally couldn't produce books fast enough for the sales, and they're like,
"No,
get us some other guys to put out books, and we'll take a piece of their, But then some of those guys that came in took a bigger chunk than they were expecting.
Yeah,
and I mean, it's business 101. It's like, when something is as hot as when Image first showed up, it's like the audience is buying. We want to keep making product for them.
Yeah,
but also you want to make sure that they come back to the original product.
Yeah, you got to keep inventory on the shelf, otherwise.
The consumers you want that image. You want that image icon in the corner to be on comic book shelves, and none of them. I think they expected to be successful. I don't know that they expected it to be the big, huge, massive hit that they were. So.
No, Rob Liefeld said that he figured it out, that if Youngblood 1 sold 100,000 copies, he would make just as much money as he did on X-Force #1.
Oh, yeah.
So that was all he was, he's like, hey, and I think it sold like 700,000. And I also know that Gen 13, when they first solicited it, the orders were like 625,000 copies, but because it was taking Jeffrey Scott Campbell so long to draw that by the time it finally came out, the orders had dropped to 250.
You're kidding.
That's how dramatic 1 year made.
And they can't. Shops canceled that many orders. That's yikes.
I remember when he first advertised it was Gen X.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that book went through
Marvel
some
called or something.
Yeah, Marvel called and said, "Hey, we got a book, Gen X, coming out." So it became Gen 13,
And then
And J. Scott was huge, man. He was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is that book went through multiple printings, so maybe it canceled orders initially, but I think once it hit the shelves, they made that money back in reorders.
No, because it was the Gen X miniseries. Do you guys remember that? The Gen 13 miniseries?
The 1 through
Because
5.
there was the miniseries and then the series.
Yeah, I remember that. I got them all. I've been studying J. Scott for a while.
Alex Garner's from Texas. He was from Dallas, Texas, and I remember I was sitting and chatting with him in Dallas, and he said he goes, yeah, when he was telling Matt Broom, who was hanging out with us, and he goes, he goes, they asked me how many books I want to order, because I guess at the studio at Wildstorm you could order your book, how many copies you wanted. And he goes, man, I was ordering a whole bunch of them. He's like, I don't know why I'm ordering so many number ones. and then at that point, I think issue 3 was out or something. And he was like, I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad I got so many copies of number 1. So he held on to them and was selling them later on when they were.
Oh God, yeah. And if he signed them, if he has any of those copies in his closet right now and he signed them, he could probably sell them for a couple $1,000 to a collector, easy.
Yeah.
Well, when Scott Campbell decided he didn't like Alex Garner's inks anymore, he's like, oh, I'm glad I have all those extra number 1s.
Oh yeah.
Because I loved Alex Garner's inks on Jeffrey Scott Campbell.
Oh, I absolutely did too. When did those two break up? Because do you know exactly?
No, I don't.
He didn't follow him on Danger Girl. It was a different inker, wasn't it? No, I think it was a different guy.
It was was it Tom McWeeny or somebody was doing something?
Yeah,
I always confuse that with Battle Chasers, because there's Battle
Tom
Chasers.
Tom was on Battle Chasers, and then he stopped inking, didn't he? Because he got arthritis.
Yeah, I heard he had some health issues or something. Yeah. I think maybe Alex inked some of Danger Girl.
Oh, he might have.
Alex. Yeah, Alex inked for sure. He did ink some of Danger Girl, but I wasn't and I know by what did it go
by
to
Marvel.
Issue 7, the double sized issue 7. I know they had multiple inkers on there.
That could have been just deadline stuff, though.
But wasn't Campbell already going to Disney at that point?
Like, this is all the background stuff that you never know about. So. Like I desperately wanted to like do anything, like even a pinup for Danger Girl. I love J. Scott Campbell, love his style. So I'd worked for IDW on some stuff. I inked some G.I. Joe stuff for them, I think. God, and now I have to go in the Wayback Machine. I did some penciling and inking for like they had the license to Battleship when that movie was coming out, and it was just some weird stuff. So I'm like,
oh yeah.
I was just doing jobs. And I knew a couple editors, but I knew they were doing Danger Girl stuff. And it's like, that's what I wanted to get to. Yeah. So, and you know how it is, like, oh, I'm not actually the editor on this book. I'm like, well, yeah, but you probably work in the same office as that guy. So
you're in the same break room or something.
Yeah, do a bro a favor and just be like, hey, this guy loves J. Scott Campbell. And you
just pass when you go to the restroom in the stall next to that editor, just pass my artwork under the stall.
Yeah, exactly.
Before you pass my art, you have to tap your feet underneath first.
If you get a little piss on it, just shake it off and just hand it to him. I don't fucking care, just so long as he sees what I can fucking do. But they were using a guy that was kind of J. Scott Campbell-esque, but like, it was just this weird thing. Mm-hmm. But like J. Scott Campbell wasn't attached to that project at all, and Alex Garner was. Mm-hmm. So that's where I like started like, so who created Danger Girl? Like J. Scott is doing a couple of covers, variant covers for this. But Alex Garner seems to be kind of the creative.
Andy Hartnell was the, I think, co-creator. He was the writer of Danger.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
they had like
Alex Garner was, I think, one of the original founders of IDW, or he was the art director.
Is that what it was?
I remember that too.
And see, that's the background info. Yeah, that's the background info on it that I don't really know. Like who was a co-creator, who was just in early, and they're kind of like making sure you can make some money off of it kind of thing. Which, if that's what they're doing, it's like, J. Scott is like doing variant covers or whatever. And he's like, yeah, if you can go make some money off this, go for it. that's a cool
dude,
move on his part. But yeah,
Jay
that's the
Scott
part.
He was one of the original. He's one of the original guys that brokered the deal of hiring himself to draw those Marvel covers, because there were all those comic book store. If you could get a comic book store to order 2,500 copies.
Oh yeah,
the comic book
Jay
store,
Scott started that, right?
Yeah, he started that because he needed more stuff to sell when he was going, because he was doing what, 10, 12 cons a year or something. Yeah, he started that. Yeah,
there's a bunch of dudes that are making their living off of what Jay Scott decided. Yeah, like it's like, yeah, I'll go in with this retailer. We'll create a specific retailer variant. And like retailers are like, oh fuck, hell yeah! Like we're gonna have this specific cover for collectors at just our shop. And now there's a ton of artists that like that's what they do. That's how they
that's all they do.
I had a retailer email me not too long ago and said, hey, I want to commission you for a cover for our shop. So will you do the cover? And I thought that was pretty interesting. Yeah, sure. And she goes, all right, and then be sure to send me the original art. And I was like, you're commissioning me to do the cover. You're licensing my art is what you're doing. I said, but if you'd like to buy the original, sure, absolutely, I'll do it traditional, and this is the price for the original. She was flipped out. She couldn't understand the difference. I kept going, no, you're licensing my art to publish my art, put it on the cover. That's what you're paying me for. It's not a commission. She kept thinking it was like commission art at the convention, and they get the original, or and she was trying to give me commission prices. She was like, this is a commission price. And I'm like, I'm doing a head sketch for that, So that was, I think that's the issue too. I think if you go to some comic stores, they may not completely understand. So it's pretty tough.
Comic shop and like people that just like haven't worked in the industry. Like I've worked for plenty of people that like they have a publishing background, they have the comic book background, and it's like, okay, we're gonna start from scratch here, and like this is how this works. And you kind of almost you're explaining it to them, and it's like
she kind of inherited the store from her ex-husband, she was kind of figuring out the comic industry, and I think she was just took it over out of spite, like you're bad.
Or she doesn't realize it's a money loser. That's what she got the divorce.
Good luck.
I gleaned that I gleaned all that from the conversation, the way she was talking in the emails, but because she was giving a lot of information in the emails, so I don't really know if that's exactly it, but it was pretty sure it was.
I had a bunch of different people the last time I did MegaCon. They asked me why I wasn't doing those type of covers, and I just kind of looked at them and I'm like, well, because retailers would have to ask me, like, no one's coming up to me. I'm like, I'm not gonna like in cold go to a comic book store and go, hey, we should do a cover. We should do a Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, no.
They'd be like, wait, what? They're like, who are you again?
Yeah.
Speaking of variant covers,
you don't approach the publisher. The publisher approaches you.
This isn't a variant cover, but tomorrow Ethan's having an art auction. I don't do traditional. So
is he doing his art auction?
Yeah, he's doing it tomorrow.
Here,
check this out. I decided that I'm going to.
Let me see if I can figure out how to put you on full.
I decided I'm gonna. I went and got a sketch cover, and I just started drawing on the sketch cover. Dude, I hate the paper.
You kicked him.
And I was still talking, and I didn't even realize I couldn't see the camera. I didn't realize I wasn't even there.
No, you're fine. So like, there's
anyway, it's a work in progress. It's the first time I've ever drawn really on a sketch cover.
Oh, it looks
2
awesome.
years.
Jimmy, why didn't you? Two things. Why didn't you draw?
I think he just double click on me. I think he just double click on me.
Double click on you.
Yeah.
Why didn't you draw Spider-Man? Or two?
Almost.
There
we go.
I hate I don't hate Spider-Man. I shouldn't say that. I dislike Spider-Man, and I thought the Green Goblin was cool because he's got like dragon-like scales.
Oh, dude,
and I was like,
it looks awesome. But also, haven't you noticed that those Comicsgate auctions that the Comicsgate property style stuff Like
Yeah.
you should have drawn your own character on
Well,
Amazing Spider-Man sketch
I
cover.
do have a sketch cover of Dragon Rage from the 2020 release. I could draw
You,
one of my characters on that.
dude, you really should for that auction, because that's the
But
first thing I noticed, because I sold a bunch of Green Lantern pages in the
uh,
Christmas one, and
figured-
I watched everyone else's other stuff, their own character stuff, sell for a lot more than any of the like Marvel or DC pages went for. So
yeah, I think people
that looks
are
great
really
though,
excited
dude.
about Comicsgate property, but I just thought, I saw Spider-Man issue
Oh
800,
hell yeah! No, that looks
and
awesome, dude. That it doesn't matter. That's gonna go. That's gonna be popular on Ethan's auction. I guarantee it.
and the
It's cool. It's very cool.
and the owner. I'm still working on it though. I figured it's for tomorrow, and I drew on it a little bit. But the comic store owner, he knows I'm an artist, and when
Jimmy.
and when I know, damn Marcus. And then when I went in asking for sketch covers, he's like, "Oh, just go pick one. I'll give it to you." And so I just grabbed that one. I thought that one was
Oh yeah. Well,
pretty.
So
I
you
picked,
grabbed like 6 of them.
yeah. Well,
Oh, yeah,
I grabbed a few. He's like, take more than one. So I grabbed the Wonder Woman. I'm drawing a Wonder Woman, drawing that one, and then I drew a Wolverine. But when I looked at it, it said all new Wolverine. And when I got home to start drawing it, I started drawing Wolverine. I flipped it inside. It's a girl.
oh yeah.
Oh,
It's
X-23.
supposedly it's his daughter or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, so I threw that one aside, and I just started drawing the Green Goblin.
And the thing is that it'll change in the next 5 years. The continuity will change. It's like any of this bullshit, that any of the woke crap they're doing now, in like 5 to 8 years.
Well, I was looking for older sketch covers, because the new stuff, like, I don't understand it. I don't get it. And I'm like, nobody's gonna want this crap. So give me something from like pre-COVID. Give me something that's like 2018.
Like, the thing is, if you go with the classics right now, no matter what, that shit's gonna sell. You draw like a Wolverine from like John Byrne era. It doesn't matter if it's dated or whatever. That shit will sell. Like, that's what the hardcore fans really want. They respect the older stuff more than all the crap they're trying to churn out. Like, we're gonna be in a decade's worth of stuff that people are just gonna ignore 10 years from now. Like, it's just they're just churning out crap that everybody hates, whatever agenda they got. You remember all these, the end of the year, like New Year's Eve, like right around that last week of the year, they do all these retrospective shows. Yeah. There's going to be retrospective shows on this era, and it's just going to be like, remember how stupid this was? Remember when we thought like COVID was killing everybody and the news media said this? And remember when everything was trans this, and if you didn't like jump on the this bandwagon, you were a homophobe. It's like, it's all bullshit, man.
All the woke editors are going to go, hey, remember when we only had 2 tricks in our bags? Turn them gay or kill them.
Yep, exactly.
That was it.
Exactly.
And that's the characters.
Like, all these people are going to look back on this, and it's like, oh my God, how did that happen? And it's like, I don't know how it happened, but it happened, and it was awful to live through.
Well, the problem is companies right now, like these larger companies now, are owned by bigger entities, and all they're focused on are, supporting and focused on everybody who owns stock. They don't give a crap. Yeah. They want stockholders, not the customer. Like, they don't care about the customer. They just care about, shareholders. And it's like, it's more than, ESG, people keep forgetting about the E and the G part of it. They're just focused on, but that's the big problem. These bigger companies, all they care about is stockholders. They don't care about the customer anymore.
This is perfect. Like, Marcus, your ESG, you're in the chat. You talked a lot of shit about me and Rob. We can't get on topics. Like,
here we are.
Jimmy, just look at, we're gonna hit some motherfucking topics for you, Marcus. We better enjoy the shit out of this, because Jimmy brought us right in there. So let me I saw this during the week, and this is I watch, like, I see clips of Shark Tank. I don't watch Shark Tank religiously. I know who this guy is, but like, he's obviously a very successful businessman. and like this has been on YouTube and all over, so I think I can show this video and it not be like a problem. But this guy, like, I mean, it's like, God forbid somebody running a business makes sense when they're talking.
Become the poster boy for brand mismanagement from multiple perspectives. So let me lay it out for you, because the discussions that have arisen and the narrative that's arisen around Bud Light is probably a good lesson for every CEO in every sector of the economy. Number one, it highlights the power of social media. This issue went viral in 48 hours.
Yeah.
And most often when an issue goes viral like that, it burns out in another 48 hours. But that's not what happened here. The story and narrative changed to sales. And so people that did not like the message, regardless of where you stand on these social issues or gender narrative or whatever, they took it out by basically boycotting the product immediately.
Yeah.
And switching preference to other brands that did not make them get involved in this issue.
And other viral videos go on social media, like Kid Rock shooting Bud Light cans and people dumping Bud Light and all. And so that just adds to it, right?
Well, it's because that narrative became very powerful and people piled on. Now, if you're trying to manage that and trying to learn something from it, and I certainly talked to all my CEOs about this, because here we are talking about it in its second month.
Yeah.
This is a nightmare from hell.
Suckers.
And the sales they haven't, some brands in the Anheuser-Busch have.
And what I especially like about this is he doesn't get into like what side you're on. That is irrelevant to him. He's a businessman. He's like when he says wherever your idea lies, whether you're for or against, like, you're running a business. That stuff is irrelevant. You're trying to get out to the widest audience, and you don't want to alienate half of your audience by like taking a side. Like, that is not helping your business. And like, this is the part where like I respect what he's saying is like, people can have their personal views. If you're trying to sell to the widest audience, you're not trying to alienate anybody. You want everybody to come in. So yeah, it's
well,
like,
most of these giant corporations are so scummy anyways that they were, during COVID, they were borrowing money at 0% interest so that they could buy back their stock.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Their stock prices go up, and their VPs and execs get a bonus because the stock goes higher. And all they're doing is putting their company more in debt. Their stock's not going up because they're making more profits. The stock went up because they bought back the stock. So it's like, you guys are so skeezy. Burn them all down. I mean, they're just
Rob's just running around with a lighter and gas cans and like F all of them.
Let's go, guys. You either get back to the fundamentals, or I'm gonna burn your ass down.
But also, like I mean, like, know your audience too. Is like, I mean, well, we'll let him play. Let me play.
Have had declines get lesser, but Bud Light's still down big.
This is worse than New Coke, Old Coke. And it's becoming its own story for the ages.
I love referencing
I'll be teaching
New
this
Coke
one at Harvard. There's no question about it. Because you have to ask yourself, in crisis management, what do you do? Because if you go to the other side and try and balance the gender narrative, you're going to get a whole new onslaught of.
Yeah, I mean, it turns into a little bit of a yawn fest where he just starts, but like, if you get to the base of what he's saying is, if you're picking a side, and a little bit of it is go woke, go broke, like, you go woke, you're gonna lose 50% of your audience, is what he's saying, and that's the way to go broke. Like, Michael Jordan, it's like, Republicans buy tennis shoes too. It's the you want to sell to everybody. You don't want to alienate buyers, and like everything has become so you're either this side or you're that side, and like it's not true. I would say the majority of Americans are a little bit of both sides. There's the extremes that are all the way right or all the way left, but those extremes are still also a minority. Like
a tiny minority.
Even on your east and west coast, there is a lot of Americans that are a little bit of both sides, and
it's a silent majority.
Yeah, it is. It's the silent part is the unfortunate part, because it's like you're working a 40-hour shift, you're dealing with your family, you're dealing with your kids, you're dealing with this, that, and the other, and you don't have time for all this bullshit, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
But
you're trying to buy groceries. You're not
exactly. You're trying to get home. You're trying to get home. You're trying to get your groceries. You're trying to get your kids back from soccer practice, so that you can sit your ass on the couch by 8:30 at night, and maybe have an hour where you can veg out before you go to bed, and then start the whole shit over again.
Like the way that businesses were run, in America, before all this was, customer was always right. Like that's what they would say is, customers always right, customer first. And now this woke ideology is entering in business and politics, bringing in politics. And like you said, it'll alienate 50% of your demographic right there, right? Or even the second that your company represents a sports team, you're automatically just going to, cut out 50% of your business, because
exactly.
It's pretty tough. So it's best to just, if you're really, people that are really business minded, it's better to just, not any of your demographic.
This bud's for you, Dylan Mulvey.
I really don't understand, because we know what I don't understand that corporations haven't done yet, especially the really big corporations that, the giant companies that own that own a bunch of other large companies. I don't understand, since they obviously they understand that social media is important. I don't understand why the way that they have a law firm on retainer, I don't know why they don't have a group of hackers on retainer. Like if you were Bud Light or Anheuser-Busch and you're like, this whole thing is spiraling in the wrong direction, watch our stock drop. Well, kick YouTube and kick Twitter. Like I'd make a couple phone calls and be like, yeah, whack them both for the next like 6 hours or 8 hours. And let's see if we can try to get this off of social media, do the same thing to Facebook. Like there's this weird, the same companies that will buy back their own stock, but they won't take an initiative to, change.
It doesn't.
Isn't it weird?
It doesn't matter how good you are, like what job you got. It doesn't mean you're perfect at everything. And a lot of these companies I was just going to have, what I was going to do. Oh, Jimmy's back. So what I'm going to do is, no, it's perfect. But I was going to we'll shoot through all of our campaigns real quick here, because I'm really good at forgetting to do this. And this is an absolutely perfect time to do this. Everybody in the chat, appreciate you guys being here. Definitely check out these campaigns. I know you guys already really have, but we get a lot of viewers on the replay. So if this is your first time on the show and hanging out with us, appreciate you guys being here on the replay. Definitely check out all these campaigns. And if you can hit the like button, and if you can subscribe to my channel, trying to build this channel up, so I'd really appreciate it. But let me hit Dragon Rage Crown of Fire. Jimmy Reyes' campaign is in demand, but this is like a kick-ass book that if you guys haven't checked it out yet, you definitely need to. I will hand it off to you, Jimmy, and I'm just going to kind of scroll down and zoom in on the artwork because it's beautiful.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, Dragon Rage is, I grew up loving Conan, loving Masters of the Universe, and what they did was they demasculated He-Man, and now they're trying to do that to Conan.
No!
And I just went, you know what? This exactly. Zoom in on Reyes. That's what we were zooming in on, guys. What did y'all see? What did your eyes go to? I thought to myself, like, man, I just want to draw cool stuff. I want to put a story that I love. I don't want any of this, real world situations in there. I want panels where they're sitting having a conversation, texting on social media, playing on TikTok or something. And, I want the real fantasy. I want action, masculine men, warriors, in there, men being badass, women being beautiful, sexy, and that's how Dragon Rage was born. And Dragon Rage is about a series. It's about the human race. Even that my own artwork's distracting me. Look at this. I mean,
the artwork on this is absolutely beautiful, Jimmy.
Thanks.
It looks fantastic, man. This is a gorgeous looking book.
Oh, thank you. It's about a race of humans that are called the Drugari, and you can think of them like Jedis. Like they have the rare ability to capture the rage of a dragon. So the dragons are the most destructive power on the earth, on that planet. And so in this world of Dragon Rage, they're the most destructive force. And to have that kind of power, wield this kind of power, takes a lot of discipline. The power, the rage can take over you, and you become a dark Drugari. Where you're just the rage is in control.
Every day.
Yeah.
Rob can barely contain it.
I know. It's like
it's all consuming.
And so Dragon Rage, it's going to be colored by Andrew Dahlhaus. He does amazing color work, man. And so
he's not too shabby.
He's not too bad. There's no woke ideology in here. There's no preaching or talking down to customers. It's a story that I want. Hopefully, you're going to find characters in here that are going to inspire you, characters that you want to be, characters that, you could see yourself as that character. And there's a lot of them to choose from, plus there's dragons, badass dragons.
And the art, I mean, these pages are great.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
They look fantastic.
Yeah, it's going to be full color, beautiful color, in there. I mean, Andrew just kills it, man.
Yeah.
Badass characters. I got to draw some really badass scenes. Dave Philpott's the writer. And I mean, this guy, I just came up with a bunch of cool stuff that I want to draw, but Dave Philpott brought a story. Like this is a book that you're going to back. And I appreciate you guys supporting the creator, but this is also a book you're going to want to read.
Yeah. So, let's play the video here and check it out.
Dragali, the true dragon masters, humans with the rare ability to capture the rage of the dragons, wielding their powers as their own.
That is one damn nice trailer, Jimmy.
Nice.
that is really fucking impressive.
Thanks. And the crazy thing is, like, I don't have time to really edit my own videos like I want to, So next time around, hopefully I'll have more time and really go crazy on the trailer.
That's still. Let me. We're gonna hit you up next, Rob. But let me go through the chat here real quick and. Rob starting players with stacks of books.
Let me. I want to.
Yeah. Let me get you full screen because we were talking about this earlier.
So when you back the campaign, I offered a all-in tier, and people backed it, did an all-in tier. Then I surprised my backers that backed that and said, you know what? That's your money. I'm going to invest it back in and get you guys a nice mailer. This is the box print. These are printed up. I have a certain limited number of them printed up once.
Show that front flat, or just hold that box straight up, or yep, right like that.
There you go.
Once,
there you go.
Once
that
this
is awesome.
Once the number that I've printed up, once we hit that number, and then I'm gonna close down that perk. But so here's the box. It is a front tuck, so which means is that front little tab right there will tuck in, and it'll open up like that. Oh, no pizza? Damn it!
Oh, dude, you know it reminds me of those pencil boxes when you're
you remember those?
Everyone had those, yeah.
Yeah, so look, what you do is you get it. Let me tuck it back in here because it's a really thick box. Like
that looks kick-ass.
So inside there it says Dragon Rage. The camera's
I'm super jealous.
The camera's not really picking up, but there's like in the glare you can see the gloss, and there's like lettering and there's art.
Oh yeah,
back
it
there.
looks good.
A ghost image almost.
Yeah, a ghost image. When you tuck it in, it's nice, really nice and tucked. We have a Thrago on one side. It says Dragon Rage on the back in case you want to put it like a spine, on your shelf. But look at underneath. There's like a huge like poster right there underneath.
That's cool.
It's got all the characters. On the other side, we got the split between Nuri and a dragon. You can kind of see the sword kind of splitting. Get the two different eyes.
Dude, I'm so jealous of that box. That box,
that is a cool box.
That looks super fucking cool. And for collectors, that's like what you want to get.
And it's a great sturdy box. This is what your perks will be mailed in. Inside that perk, you're going to get. I think I have it inside the box. Do I? No. Everybody gets a free bookmark, and where those bookmarks went, I had them ready to show.
I saw you post the bookmarks on Twitter, though, and there you go.
So everybody gets a free bookmark, and it's got plenty of room. So, if we were to go and let's say we take a couple of comics, I think that tier you get 5 covers. So here's the older Dragon Rage, but
it's like this is behind the scenes shipping.
Behind the scenes, yeah.
So this is what we go through every day. Fill in the box, get all the book.
All your issues of Dragon Rage will fit in there. It has room for your posters. Your posters will go in here, and then I even invested in foam padding to go on top.
Oh, nice!
So when
it doesn't move around.
Yeah, so when it doesn't move around when it's being shipped. And I'm going to put the labels on the bottom, so everything will be going in, tucked in, and it's a nice little collector box. When you guys get it, you can keep all your stuff in it, and if you want, like I said, you just put it up on a shelf, and there's Dragon Rage, and you just take it off the shelf, and there it is, all the artwork.
Dude,
look at that. And I didn't even cover the booty. Look at that. Look at that. You can
twerk. That's right there. You want that right on the front.
Smart.
And then underneath it's the Dragon Rage. So yeah. It's a really great box, and I wanted backers to know how much I appreciate that they made my dream come true. To have my own comic book, everything's going back to them.
Absolutely. No, and I mean, dude, yeah, I want to pick your brain because I want to do like a box tier like that at some point.
Oh yeah,
it just looks freaking awesome. And really, like these are all collectors. These are like we're dealing with hardcore comic fans. These are guys that want the cool shit. And I want my projects to have this cool shit.
Yeah. I mean,
this is why we're here. This is why we're doing this. This is why I've been drawing my whole life. This is why we're talking on YouTube. Is because we are comic book fans and we want the cool shit, man. That box looks fucking epic, dude. Way to go, Jim.
I worked most of my career part-time in comics, and I worked full-time in graphic design, and I was always doing packages and product design. So designing my own box was definitely something I should do. There's no reason why.
And see, it's like I'll tell a quick story. It's like guys like you, like a lot of this shit I don't even know about because I'm just like the production part of it. I don't know that stuff. There's a dude on Aerith. He does a lot of stuff through Comicsgate. he like got me tied in with like these Chinese printer that would do these hologram cards. I would have never in my life figured out how to do this, but he got me hooked up, and he's just an awesome dude. He's super cool, does great books. If you guys haven't checked out, it's ARITH. AIR.
Oh, Aerith Saga.
Yep,
That's
Aerith
like-
Saga.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
that's his book. I don't know his Twitter handle off the top of my head.
Aerith
Dude's
Saga,
awesome,
I
though.
think, is his Twitter handle.
Yep, and he's got a huge production background, so he knows how to do all this shit.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, he's got these, and I'm gonna do this for Pirate Queen versus Slave Girl. The multi-image hologram cards where you turn it and it's got the 2 to 3 different images on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Oh,
like they're
and,
moving.
Yep, I did it for Blue Bombshell. They turned out freaking fantastic. I'm doing it for
or something like that.
Yep, lenticular
Lenticular.
hologram cards.
Lenticular, yeah.
Yep.
Those
and
are
so
awesome.
like that's the thing that this allows us to do is like shit I would have never even imagined I could have pulled off. But yeah, when you run these campaigns, you can do this extra fun stuff like this, like your box right there. So it just makes the campaigns more fun. And like the only reason that we can do this stuff is because of the fans, the people that are enjoying our work, and it's reciprocal. Like you guys love what we're doing, we love you guys love what we're doing, and we want to do more of it. So it's just kind of like this fun kind of fan fest. But let's get into Death Raider, not Death Hunter.
You almost said it.
I didn't, though. I didn't say it. I just took a deep breath as I was saying that.
Rob Raider and Death Hunter.
Oh, that's gonna be my next project.
That's the sequel, Death Raider versus Death Hunter.
Yeah.
Rob Raider is Death.
Who
Death
will
Hunter.
hunt and who will raid?
You find out his brother was the original Death Raider. He's
It's right.
Stole his
right
idea.
Now. We
Yeah,
could probably come up with the script for the sequel like right now, just brainstorming.
So
I'll
thing,
let you
Death Raider. Death
I'll
Raider
let you go and I'll scroll.
Okay. First thing is Death Raider's been at $27 from $17K for like a week. For like a week, it's been stuck.
We need one backer to hit 17K.
Exactly.
So there's gonna be somebody on the replay that hasn't backed us yet. You're our boy. You're our boy, Blue.
27. That's just one comic, right? It's one perk.
Backer.
Yeah. It's whatever cover they want, A, B, C, or D.
Yeah.
So there's actually not really a.
We don't know you now, but there's going to be one backer on the replay, and we can't do it live. But you're going to put Rob over 17, and you're our boy, Blue.
Oh yeah, yeah. And if you can put me over 100K, I'll love you forever.
I like what Randy Howell.
Someone orders a shit ton of copies. Wait, what's happening?
Have you seen Randy Howell's suggestion in the chat there? He's got a.
Oh, let me pull it up here.
What?
Sorry.
Yeah, his most recent comment. Look at that.
Yeah, absolutely. The drunkest guy.
I wonder who the drunkest guy was.
I might be the drunkest guy here.
No, Southern
Cecil.
Southern
Cecil
said he was drunk. Yeah, so he was.
I honestly appreciate all the fans who have said that because I am putting I'm putting everything into these pages.
You are,
and
it shows.
And not just the artwork. It's something. One of my first live streams that I did once I had the sign up was Kayla said to me like 2 or 3 times. She goes, don't forget about the humanity when you're doing the story. She goes, because it sounds like you're going to have a really fun action adventure story, but she's because I mentioned my influences and all the artists that I follow, and I mean you can look back at those the Image days, and you can look at the Rob Liefeld books where it really was set up to the next action adventure, and you really didn't get too much about the characters. They all were kind of it was almost like Rob was drawing the action adventures of action figures. They didn't really have too much character development, or they just didn't seem like they were human. Really, they're like fighting robots. So that's probably the biggest thing that I keep adding to the story as as honestly I go through my outline, and as I'm drawing the pages, I'll be like, oh wait, what did Kayla say? Like it'll always be kind of in the back of my brain, and I'm like, remember, interject, let's don't just do a cool splash page or a cool 3-panel page of them standing and talking and doing stuff. Bring in those close-ups, not just for when it's the gritty teeth and someone's about to punch someone else. Let's get the humanity in these characters. Let's make sure they're real, make sure they're 3-dimensional. They're also, I hate slice of life comics, but I understand a little bit of slice in your action adventure just makes your characters real. So that's probably the one thing I'd like to add in this live stream about the Death Raider project, because everybody can see the artwork.
Oh, the artwork is epic. The other thing I would like to say is like a huge aspect of Comicsgate is creators and fans interaction. And
Yes.
like if you're the backer that's putting us up, putting you from 16 over to 17, or like one of those, like 1,000 is a milestone for creators. So like when you're going from 9 to 10, that's a huge thing. When you're going from 15 to 16 or from 19 to 20,000, that's a huge thing. When you're that backer, hit us up on Twitter and let us know you're that backer, man. Because we want to give you a shout out, and like, like that's a huge thing. Yeah. And we love you guys. And when you're the guy that puts us, because like Rod's saying right now, the campaigns will go into like a slow period. It just every campaign does. But when you're that backer that puts you over that next step, like hit us up on Twitter, man. We absolutely love to hear from you. And that's like a retweet, an instant retweet right there for all of us creators. So and like not all the backers, like some backers are just like, oh, I'm a backer of the book, I'm not, it doesn't matter. Like, no, hit us up on Twitter. Like when you back our projects, hit us up on Twitter. Let us know you backed our projects. We want to hear from you guys.
On that topic too. Thank you. Go for it. Thank you for the 2 new backers I just got right now. They put
awesome.
They put Dragon Rage over 29K.
Nice.
That is freaking awesome.
We were at 28K when we were just showing the campaign. Now it's over 29K. So
that is absolutely hail to the chat, man. That is the chat happening right there.
Because go ahead, Rob.
Oh, I was going to just say that when I did my closeout for the campaign to go in demand, Tyler something, I noticed it in a couple of emails, because you get your Indiegogo backer emails. He actually donated after he bought stuff. And I was like, I'm like, dude, you got to, I know. And I'm just like, I go, wow. I go, and when I'm looking at that and I'm like, wait a minute, he donated like 3 different times. I'm like, he could have just bought more books or something. So, if he hears this, email me. I mean, I'm going to, like, it's always in the back of my head anyways. I'm going to, like, especially when I'm packing stuff up, I'm going to be like, wait a minute, this is, I'm going to look at the thing and go, oh, wait, this is Tyler who donated multiple things. Where's that? I want him to email me and tell me which DC characters he likes, because I'm going to stuff a couple of DC hardcovers in with his package. Sure.
That's awesome.
Like do that, because let us know when you guys do that, because especially when I do in the fall when I'm packing stuff up, I'm gonna have boxes of all my other goodies that I usually would bring to my cons with me, that I'm gonna be like, oh wow, man, this guy, like I had someone who backed me when Clint and I, our last live stream, he bought like one of everything, one of each book and a t-shirt. I'm like, this guy just dropped like $160.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's
on my Death Raider stuff. That's huge.
I mean, all contributions are appreciated.
Yeah, of course.
But for those that are able to back the highest tier, that's what I felt too. It's like they need to get something extra for that, you know.
Oh, here we
to
go.
Show my appreciation. So
there we go. Well, first I want to say, I want to say from all of us, Improbi in the house, man, appreciate it. Backed me and Rob last week, backed Jimmy this week. So, man, that is freaking absolutely fantastic from you, man. Thank you for being here in the chat. Appreciate everybody in the chat tonight, all you guys. And then Randy is saying,
so refresh my page.
Yeah, let me
drum roll.
Scroll up the
anticipation's killing me.
Oh, Rob, can you feel
it? It goes down.
No.
someone did a refund. Just to there we go. We broke it.
You're over the 17K.
Oh,
after a week.
Dude. Rob,
after a week.
The pessimist. It's probably going to go down.
Hey, man. Well, I do love to make those type of jokes, and I super appreciate everybody, the guys that just backed it. But
Rob's gonna cry.
You got to get me out. You got to take it off.
In the corners.
Are you tearing up, big guy? You gonna cry? You gonna call for your mama? Is that what's happening? But Jimmy and I talked about. I asked him. I go, dude, do you get a lot of refunds? And he's like, well, maybe 3 or 4 if like for 400 backers is normal. And I was like, hey, Clay, are you gonna take me off?
No, sorry. I wanted to make it awkward. I wanted to wait till it was awkward, and then I would.
Well, it was more than awkward, but
I was well past awkward.
I joke about refunds because I've had over 10 refunds. I don't know if it's I'm a little my page is a little confusing or something. So
you and Jimmy go for a little bit here. I'm gonna reload my cocktail. I want to stay as drunk as Southern Sea. So
gotta keep up. He's raising that bar. Southern Cecil's raising the bar. So
well, and you can look at my pretty drawing of myself because I'm not self-involved at all.
Yeah, your TikTok profile picture.
I'll be right back.
His TikTok. If he had given us control so we could scroll, well, it would have been cool. Or he could have clicked the trailer. Well, he was gone.
I was talking to Rini too about that, and I said, I think I've only had about 2 since my campaign started, about 2 refunds. And she's like, oh my God, that's unbelievable. She's like, that's really good. And I go, I mean, really, to be honest, I don't know if I didn't know how to gauge that. But she says, that's pretty rare, so. I said, I just think,
So I'm the one. So you're the rare one with the.
I've only had about 2, and honestly, only one was really a refund. The other one he backed out, and then eventually later he came back and he backed something else. But she says, she gets maybe a couple of a week or something like that. I remember it was a higher number.
Kind of normal then
when it was active. I heard that's really normal that people either didn't budget correctly. They're like, I can't do it this week, or I don't. I mean, for whatever reasons, it's who knows.
Well, I've noticed some people they'll back out because they see a different cover, and I understand that. Yeah. I definitely understand that because I added covers later, like the variant covers. I did, when I first put it up, there was only one cover, and then as people asked for the Anna cover, and then I just because I was having fun with covers, I did the other cover, the tune-up cover, just because I thought that turned out to be a great image.
What everyone's saying, I mean, even Randy mentioned here, but everyone was saying, refunds are normal. You shouldn't worry about them or focus on them, at all. And so
that's cool.
Cool.
So let's I'm back, but let's scroll. I didn't get that far into Death Raider, so let's scroll down and 17. Congrats, Rob. That is
thank you very much. Thank you very much.
That is awesome to everybody in the chat. I want to get down. Go ahead. Well,
there's the T-shirt. The T-shirt's pretty new. I've only had the T-shirt up for 2 weeks. Everybody who shipping is crushing them, or even the price of the book is a little crushing. I've got PDFs, so anybody can that way they'll get the whole 64-page book. There's even where you can get all 3 PDFs, which means you get PDF, the full color book with cover A, PDF. You get cover B, which is the tune-up cover PDF, and then the third PDF is the special PDF, because that's the one where it's called the stripped PDF, and it's black and white, and there's no lettering. There'll be no lettering. So really, it's so you can read through the book first time around, and then second time around you can just check it out and just look at the artwork.
Especially who did that T-shirt design? That T-shirt design is amazing.
Oh, dude, it's Eddie Smith's guy. I always forget his name. I think it's like St. Clair, like St. Clair, like CLAIRE.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
It's a really good design.
I want that T-shirt, man.
Dude, he did an amazing job.
2 colors. It's
yeah, and it says it's time to fuck shit up around the design.
And he worked with because it's it's a process. Like when you do T-shirt designs, they lay down the white in order on the T-shirt that's on there, and then they pile the other colors on top.
Yeah,
and that's really just a 2 color right there.
Yeah, with the green and
he did so much with just 2 colors. It was amazing.
Yeah, well, it hadn't been colored yet, so I just sent him the black and white, and then of course the green is just because of the title, and he just kind of went with that because
awesome.
Because I did my title myself. So I saw that and I'm like, I don't even want to, like, later on I'm like, I got the color.
I definitely got to get that shirt, man.
Do they have them in 3XL?
They do. I have the order.
Do you have them in toddler sizes? I'm pretty short. So I'm pretty small.
I do. What you do is you order yourself.
Kids. I need a kid's husky.
You order yourself a 3XL, and then it's a nice little winter dress.
Yeah, it would be.
When you get cold.
No joke. Would be like, yeah, man, I need a small shirt, man.
But yeah, everybody, like, if you're thinking about this book and you haven't looked at Rob's page yet, I mean, just look at this. Is epic artwork,
and it makes me cringe. The early artwork still makes me cringe. It makes me. I feel like I've gotten better already. Yeah. So
I mean that is true. It's not an insult. You have gotten better. Your work, your new stuff is better. But I mean, it doesn't mean your old stuff was horrible. It's just, but it's nice to see that you mean.
But the other thing is, this is the deal with Comicsgate, is like all of us have been working freelance, rushing out jobs just to make sure that we can get the next job.
Yeah.
What these campaigns allow for is for artists to really have time to put in the work that they've always wanted to do on these projects.
Oh,
like, You go through every Comicsgate creator, and I think if you get down to the brass knuckles of it, like if you talk to Ethan, I talk to Art. I talk to Art all the time. And I've heard Ethan say this, is it allows him to just put out his best work, to take the time to just make it the book that he's always wanted to do. And you can see the love in these pages when an artist is allowed to not have to rush through, not have to hit some sort of deadline for some editor who has poorly mismanaged the project. Actually do the work that you've always wanted to do. And that's what these projects are. That's why Comicsgate is the success that it is.
Well, obviously we're doing this because we love the medium. We love, the pop culture and everything. And because look at our campaigns, we're not making, huge money. I mean, I can't support myself on what my campaigns made so far. I'm being completely honest. So for me, it's best to just invest what I can back in the campaign and try to grow it as much as I can. Give as much to the backers as much as I can, and eventually, I know it's a slow burn. It's gonna build.
You build from each campaign. Definitely, you do.
The goal is to be able to support myself doing this, being transparent. I want to make money doing what I love to do. But right now,
otherwise you eventually have to go, I got to go get a job at work.
I got to
because I actually have to be able to pay the bills. I can't slide, the credit card companies will only give you so much credit before can I pay with my crowdfunded comic? I'm going to ship you guys
a crate.
You only
full.
can go so far into debt doing what you love
Yeah.
before you go.
But the
okay,
opportunity is there because the fan base is there, and they just need to get to know you better, and it doesn't happen overnight.
No.
Like the fans for this type of artwork and these type of comics, they're there. They've been alienated by Marvel and DC for so long with just shit books. Like
we have to find them.
Nothing,
we have to pull them out of their caves now and go.
No,
don't give up on comics. Don't give up on comics.
There's nothing Marvel and DC are putting out that could touch your book here, Rob, art wise. Like there's nothing that they're putting out. Like this book is gorgeous compared to anything they're doing. Same with Jimmy. Like it literally is just getting the word out there in social media and Twitter and YouTube, all of this
that
stuff.
Relationship with backers, earning their trust,
earning their trust, that, getting your name out there in Comicsgate more, because there is a hardcore Comicsgate audience out there that is starving for quality comics, and they're all the fans that Marvel and DC alienated because of their woke agenda, and just like it couldn't be more obvious. So it's just a matter of doing the legwork and getting it out to that wider audience, because these books are beautiful.
Well, I've talked to a lot of those fans, and I know where they went. They went to the comic conventions. Yeah, they still love comic art. They still love comics, but because the books are so bad now, what they do is they just spend their money that they were going to spend on the comics every month. They spend it at the comic book shows.
Yeah,
and I've had lots of conversations
and stuff. Yeah,
back issues and prints, and
artists that like instead of new storylines. Because
I've had lots of conversations with people that have told me that exact scenario where they gave up on the books. So I actually once I've printed, shipped to all my backers, I'm going to be excited just to do a couple of conventions where I can just show all the entire, go to the conventions and show people like, hey, this is like, hey, why is your name familiar? Where have you been? And I'm like, well, this is where I am. I'm on YouTube now.
This is what I'm doing.
Yeah. This is what I'm doing, and this is why I disappeared from.
I mean, I love your book, Rob, but I wish you just understood lighting a little better.
You bastard. I burned so much time with photos.
Can you pick a light source and and if you're not an artist, I'm being very sarcastic because this is like class 101 on like lighting and being an artist and like using light to just magnify and like throw a focus on your character. Like Rob is just, the lighting on her face is absolutely gorgeous, and I'm just throwing a little bit of a joke out there because not everybody will get it if you're just a comic book fan and you're not like paying attention to the specifics on art. But yeah, Rob is doing a master class on lighting and like storytelling and like following the character around and like throwing the focus on certain things when she's running through this passage. And this face is just like absolutely gorgeous and epic.
I have to give credit to all of my marker DIY YouTube videos that I've been watching.
No, we all learn from somebody.
Because like when they talk about the shading with a gray marker, you have to pull out the photo reference. You have to really figure the lighting out, because otherwise I would just end up coloring the whole goddamn face gray. Yeah. And they go, what did I just do?
And I guarantee you, every good artist has used photo reference out there to just kind of figure out the tones and everything,
Well, I thought it was the photo, and then he's like, no, that's marker. With his shading on. Holy shit, that's marker.
Well, that's my favorite thing to do now with the Cintiq is I put the page up on the Cintiq, and then so I can take a photo, and in Adobe I make it black and white, and then I can make it as big as I want and then look at it as reference
Oh,
or
yeah.
shrink it down. So
Yeah.
that's what I've used. Now my Cintiq has become part drawing table and part,
Wow.
that's where I get to look at all my photo reference.
You
Oh, yeah.
abuse that poor Cintiq. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm using the
Oh,
shit
you-
out of that
you
poor
have a-
thing.
you have
Not
a-
even the right way. I'm not even drawing on it. I'm just
You
using it.
have a question about your campaign that passed a little earlier. They want to know about the watches and the quality of the watches. I think it was Proby. I think maybe yes.
The watches are pretty kick ass because I got samples.
Oh,
from the
there we go.
factory like over a month ago. So they're all pretty cool. I was kind of surprised at how high quality they are. The only downside that I can say about the watches is that I haven't sold enough watches to be able to do specific Death Raider logos etched into them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're pretty high quality. I mean,
they're very nice watches. If you did a higher
Yeah.
number, you could have done like a little cool extra thing with Death Raider.
Yeah.
And
If
that's
I'd sold more,
understandable.
yeah,
Yeah.
because that's how I had planned it. I had planned on it where, because the company offered that to me, but they're like, "Here's your minimum order, otherwise it costs this much." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I don't think I'm gonna hit that minimum order for the Death Raider logo etched in the
Wow,
watches."
that was
But otherwise,
so. Oh, sorry. I meant in Proby's comment that was so about the refunds. He said, "I try to avoid refunding on campaigns. Hate the thought of costing creators unnecessary losses." That is such. I mean, because
Yeah.
But I mean, hey,
we
you have to
understand
do
it.
what you have to do. We understand. Yeah, yeah.
I'll tell some. Oh, go ahead, Rob.
I was going to just say, I personally, when I would see what I thought was above the norm of refunds, I thought maybe my Indiegogo page, my campaign was confusing to people. So that's what I thought. I didn't think like, oh, hey, I lost a sale. My first thought was like, am I confusing people with how I've set this up, where they think they're getting one thing and then they realize, oh, oops, that's not what I wanted. That kind of stuff.
Yeah. I'll tell some refund horror stories.
Oh
here.
no.
Yeah. No. So long before Comicsgate existed, like I remember it was probably like around 2010, I started hearing about Kickstarter. And like I'm like, oh, this sounds like awesome. But like literally I heard about Kickstarter because of it was Bleeding Cool, and they were running stories about how pros weren't delivering on their books on Kickstarter.
Oh, even
Yeah.
back then?
It was like 2009, 2010, long before Comicsgate was even a thing, before we were really going into the woke stuff. But it like clued me in on Kickstarter. I'm like, oh man, you can and I'd been, drawing for a while. I, chasing down indie jobs, freelancing. And I'm like, oh man, I could totally do this. I had projects on the back burner that I had pitched to Image or whatever small press. And I'm like, this is perfect for me. So like I started running the first campaigns probably like 2012, I think was like one of my first or second campaigns, right around there. And no clue what I was doing. My first campaign failed, absolutely failed. And thank God it failed. It was like the best thing that happened to me, because I offered all this stuff. I offered a trade paperback. I offered 4 individual issues for the whole miniseries, and no clue what the hell I was doing.
How expensive it would be, and
yeah, it was just like I was like offering the moon and couldn't deliver. And I was like, thank God it failed. But like then I started studying like successful campaigns, and that's what you got to do before you dip your toe in any of this, is look through campaigns that are maybe similar to what you're doing, and then steal the crap out of them, because successful campaigns. And that's how I learned. It's like you learn by a little bit of copying. And so my second campaign was successful. But then what I realized was you get these guys and they're just excited, but they have no money.
Oh,
but they're fans, and they want you to succeed. They don't have ill intentions, but they back you for the highest freaking thing that you can do.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then they follow your campaign, they text and they tweet on everything. And then the day that your campaign is closing, they cancel their order.
Oh, you're just like,
And
oh,
it
no.
hurts so bad because you're like, oh, I'm right up here, and then it's like nosedive, you know. So and like I don't hate them or anything like that. I don't hold it against them. They're excited, but they want, you know, they want that excitement of the campaign, but maybe they can't afford. And it's like, then go for a smaller tier. Don't. But yeah, like that would happen. And my wife created a phrase for it at the end of my campaigns is no backsies.
Well, I can imagine, especially the largest tier can be, you know,
Well, and that's what it would always be.
or $200 or something.
Yeah, I would have one, and it wasn't everybody. I'd have one or two guys, and like literally, I knew their names, their whatever handle it was on Kickstarter, and they would back me. And I like early on, I was like, oh, they back for the biggest tier, and then like by the second campaign, it was like, oh, so and so's back. He's gonna cancel on the last day, and by that time, then I knew it. So it wasn't the kick in the nuts that it was the first time around. But.
I know I've had those instances where I purchased something, and then like a week later, mismanaged the bills a little bit and go, shit. Yep. You know, like all of a sudden you're like, I know that with debit cards and stuff, either automatic payments that you forget about that go through every month, or it seems like because I still have to write checks for a couple of things, and you'll forget that check was written, and then you go to check your account and you're like, wait, why do I only have $6 in my account right now? What happened? And then you look up and you're like, wait, that took a week to go through, or that took a week and a half to go through, you know, because I would check. There's been times where I check my account and I think, hey, yeah, I got plenty of money, and then the $450 electric bill goes through the day after I just checked my account, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh no, what happened? I thought I had money.
$450.
Dude, I live in Florida, so
Texas.
August, September, really brutal electric bills because AC and 24/7.
Well, and that's the thing is like, and I don't mind this at all, is like people shifting down from the bigger tier to, and the thing is everybody, paycheck to paycheck, you know.
Yeah.
Like
we all know that pain.
This is absolutely. This is fan fun, but pay your bills first, get your comic second, and we all understand that. So yeah.
Hey, whoa.
I'm not ripping on fans at all.
I didn't say that.
Oh,
I said if you got to skip lunch a couple of days in a row, then buy my book.
Yeah, Rob is absolutely get your book here, and you can't skip a meal once or. It's probably Rob's really just looking out for your own health because we could all skip a meal.
I've heard fasting can be very healthy if you fast for 14 hours a day. Yeah,
15 pounds, man.
Ooh, dude! Congratulations and hail art. I would be no one without.
I threw him the link. I don't know if he wants to jump in or not, but I offered him the opportunity. It's late on a Sunday night. It's probably well past Art's bedtime, but
yeah, he's an old man. So.
He is a legend, though, man.
Yeah,
dude. Like you've known Art way longer than I have, but
no, I haven't.
Yeah, you have.
I've known of him.
Of him.
Of him. But you've known him longer than I have.
Oh, okay. Well,
you didn't know that? Yeah,
no.
yeah.
You guys have known of each other.
Oh well, I think Art's just being nice. I don't know why anybody would.
No, I will go down saying like all my campaigns. I love the success of my campaigns, but getting to be buddies and hang out with Art on a regular basis has probably been the best fucking thing that Comixgate has given me. Because literally, dude, Art is a legend to me, man. I like, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, being on the Pontificators and, like, to meet you on the Pontificators, yeah, no. Hail Art T-Bear, absolutely.
Hail
I
Art.
think we all say that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do Hail Art T-Bear and do the impersonation of his intro where he catches a fish.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, what are you doing, Jimmy?
I'm eating this thing called a maranito. It's a piggy. Tea bread.
What? Don't be bringing culture into here. There's no.
Oh,
there's
yeah,
no
that's
room
right.
for culture.
We're getting
culture.
close and we're getting fancy.
You could have just said it's a cookie.
Where is
It's a
Art?
cookie.
Why isn't Art in here?
He hates us.
Art always thinks I'm buttering his buns.
Why do you have to put it that way? That's not right, dude. That's weird.
Art is the man. And if anybody is foolish enough not to have checked out Black and White yet, Art's epic sequel to his original book Black and White, go back it now on Indiegogo. Black and White by Art T-Bear.
Mm-hmm.
This
Looks
book,
awesome.
Art is putting it all, and Art is one of the gay. Oh, we're being too nice. We're being too nice to Art. He's a dirty bastard, folks.
Yeah, my favorite thing about Art now is that the conversation I had with him at Kansas City, he doesn't remember.
When you get to a certain age,
that's what's great, though. It's now I love the fact that he doesn't even remember.
I'm personally more comfortable with people that don't necessarily remember my conversations with them, because it's like I don't want to be that important in somebody else's life.
Well, that's how it should be. Art shouldn't remember anybody he has a conversation with at a con. He's Art T-Bear.
Art's like, passing through a crowd of his fans, and that's the way it should be. And I'm more comfortable with that than the alternative.
Yo, hey kid, what do you want me to sign or move on? You know, that's what it should be. Where's your X-Men up for me to sign? Where's your X-Men? What do you want?
Let's before I forget, let's play your video, Rob, here. And goddamn, I love these panels right here.
You're a dirty old man.
Oh, hell yeah. That's our target demographic, Rob, just in case you weren't aware.
Yeah, I completely understand.
Dirty old bastards like me.
Oh, you should wait till you see the Death Raider's adversary. She is a sexy cyborg.
There we go. Jeez. Whoa.
Jimmy did a great job on this trailer.
Nice.
Oh, I did a new intro for Dragon Rage, a 20-second intro. Speaking of, it reminded me of your logo. I put your logo in there and I made it like move. So it made me go back and rethink of I should redo mine. I was like, damn it, I did a better logo reveal on someone else's trailer than I did on my own.
No way, really?
Well,
so I went back and redid mine. Yeah.
You always want to keep kind of tweaking stuff, and it's like,
yeah,
there is some, with your campaigns and with, especially when you run it 30 days, extend to 30 days, you get the full 60 days, and then you go in demand. You can tweak and go back and kind of like fudge some stuff, especially with your trailers and stuff.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, I really need to do something better. I rushed mine,
I only had that artwork when Jimmy did my trailer. That was the only artwork I had for Death Raider, so I set him all my artwork. Yeah, so I keep thinking to do another trailer because I have more artwork, but I'm like, by the time I have like all the artwork that I would want to make another trailer, I'm gonna be printing and shipping the book anyway.
Do it, save it for issue 2. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what that's exactly what I'm planning.
Andy
I'll
did
just
the same
make sure.
thing.
Yeah.
When I did Andy's trailer, he only had concept art. He didn't have any artwork done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
now he's a new trailer with half a book to choose from.
You almost just kind of have to keep moving on because it's like it's like if you spend too much time sitting back on this one thing, futzing with it to try and get it to perfection, just make the next thing better, and like get to that next, because these campaigns are hard enough as it is. If you try to like perfect everything, it's like like there's I know there's this thing among artists. It's like, some people are like perfectionists and stuff, and it's like at some point, like a perfectionist isn't going to get the project done.
No,
like you have a responsibility to your backers. It's like put out the best product that you can, and everybody is always critical of themselves, but put out the best product that you can, and then you move on to the next project, and whatever you're critical of the last one, well, then you improve it on the next book. You're always trying to improve, but don't let it be something that like holds you back from like actually getting your books out to your fans, because then you're doing them a disservice just because you're getting like too neurotic about it or something.
Yeah. Well, I know that my sign up was so long that it put so much pressure, because the whole time my sign up was up, I was like doing commissions and stuff, but I wasn't working on, besides pages.
Yeah, and then that's just how it is sometimes.
Yeah, but it puts so much pressure on, economically, that I know that my sign up from the next issue is going to be a lot shorter, just because then there's a lot less pressure.
It'll be shorter, but you'll be more well known, and like people are gonna know the thing. Like you'll get way more signups way faster, and you won't need to run it for as long as you did. Like I think you'll be pleasantly surprised how your second campaign goes. Just because the word is going to be, you're going to be more well known amongst Comicsgate, just from Comicsgate Kings, like you and Jimmy being on Comicsgate Kings. Like it's going to help you out exponentially as things go on, just because like more Comicsgate fans are going to know you guys.
And everybody needs an adversary, and Jimmy's my adversary.
I will always volunteer to be the referee between you and Jimmy's wrestling match.
Yeah,
but,
I think
Jimmy, you professionally fought, right?
Yeah. No, not professional. I didn't go elite. I mean, I fought elite. I didn't go pro. Yeah.
So it's a fake adversary. I don't want my ass kicked. It's my fake adversary.
Jimmy, he will mess you up.
Only in words.
Well, we launched our campaigns the same week, so we were it was a friendly competition, but we were also helping each other too. We'd retweet each other.
Wait a minute. Now Jimmy's saying how he crushed me.
No, I'm saying we helped each other, along the way. It was, it was a lot of fun, but I've stopped streaming really. I mean, like I would just stream on Saturday and then and spend Sunday with the family, but this weekend we flipped it. So now I'm at the table drawing,
I absolutely
you just gotta get the book done, dude, right? Yeah.
I absolutely do like even if I'm not on the winning end of it, I like the competitive nature of these campaigns. Like I look at what everybody's doing, and I'm like, oh yeah, like what, and I'll sit and look and try and figure out, because it like helps you improve. Seriously, it does. Like, what is this guy doing? How is he getting the word out? Looking at his artwork, looking at his book, looking at what fans are responding to. Like, there isn't anything in the world that I love more than capitalism.
Oh, and I hate competition.
Yep, I like competition. I like capitalism. Ooh.
Whoa, that's Jimmy. What are you doing, Jimmy? You're trying to mess
Oh,
with Clint.
checking my security cameras.
See?
It
How
dare
sounds
you,
like
sir.
somebody might be trying to break in.
Sounds like sabotage again. There goes Jimmy sabotaging.
I was.
I hate competition. If
Oh,
it was
you got
just
they got harsh on you fast.
if it was just Ethan and I,
Oh, look at I did it.
if it was just Ethan and I and we're the only ones in Comics Gate, I'd be like, yeah, that's fine.
Jimmy's
Get rid
got
of all
some
you.
right. But
All
no,
of you.
that's what I love, and especially I like it with the big guys. I love Malin and Shane going at each other.
Oh,
And,
dude.
you know, like trying to get the Dale covers and all that stuff. Like that gets the fans fired up about it,
Yeah.
and it's like it's kind of that inclusive thing. It's like you see a little bit behind the scenes, and it's like, yeah, guess what? Everybody is trying to get a cover from Dale.
Mm-hmm.
Even I would get a cover from Dale.
Oh,
I mean,
Christ,
if I
yeah.
could. I'd be like,
You, me, and Rob would stomp all over each other, climbing up the hill, trying to get the cover from Dale.
To be honest, I know how much it costs to get a cover from Dale, so
yeah,
I'd pay it. I'd pay it in a heartbeat. I'd take out a small loan from my bank.
I drive a 2005 Saturn, so.
My car isn't much better than yours. I got a 2009 Corolla that I can probably drive for another 20 years. So
as long as they're paid for, man, that's all that matters.
It's paid off, man. I'll put those payments towards a Dale cover in a heartbeat. So speaking of heartbeats, let's check out the heartbeat of the Superiors. We went through your guys' campaigns. I hit a couple topics. We're actually covering all the campaigns. We're like real streamers right now. So
I know, dude. You're at 16,605.
16,605. We cracked 16,000 in my first 30 days. So I am super stoked about that.
Nice.
We've got about 3 weeks left to hit 20,000. If this book can hit 20,000, I will be ecstatic. That is my goal for this book. This is my ode to my love of superhero comics growing up, 70s, 80s, 90s, Avengers, Justice League, all the team superhero books. Yellow Flash has been a huge backer of mine, so I threw him out a variant cover. It's a homage to Flash 139, the first appearance of Professor Zoom, who becomes Yellow Flash. So this is my homage to Travis Charest. I love Travis Charest or Charett's art, but this is my little fan geek out to him. And then
it looks great too, man. I have a question for you. I don't mean to interrupt you. It's if you scroll back up.
Yep.
There you go. Like, have you thought about doing a little cuts with whiteout? Or I know that you're doing it on the computer because, like, you look at the detail in his face. If you just now scroll down to his body,
dial it back just a little bit more.
No, not dial back the detail in his face, but if you now scroll down to his costume.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you had done a few cuts with the brush whiteout pen
into the black,
it's easy to do, and it gives it will just give
I
it a
can
little
do it
more
digitally,
detail.
easy as hell. I could do something like that, and that's the thing with digital is you can go back and tweak it right to the last second. So
because it's every time I see this cover, I'm always like, if there's a little more detail in his body, because this thing kicks ass. Especially the green chick, her dude, you did a fantastic job on her. I mean, that pose is awesome.
Yeah.
How did you get so good with the foreshortening? Because my favorite shots of your stuff is where it's actually foreshortened.
Yeah. It's one of those things that you just kind of have to work with.
Yeah.
Like, because it's easy to mess it up. And like, even this hand, I'm pretty proud of this hand.
Yeah.
Because, and you know what I do? I will do is I'll just do a photo reference of myself to nail something.
Yeah.
Because
and then exaggerate it a little.
Yep, because it's and I'll always tweak photo stuff. But
yeah, he did kind of look like you. That's where it reminds me of.
The head tilt where he looks a little bit arrogant and like a douchebag. That's kind of where it like.
So it's like your avatar. I was
It's all
it's
Clint.
me right there.
It's all Clint.
Like the gut would be out way farther than that, but the hand is definitely me. So, but yeah, the foreshortening it's a tricky business because you can F it up real easy and it'll screw up the whole picture. But if you nail it, then it just like people don't even notice it, and they're just like, "Oh, that looks right," and they don't.
Is
think
that why,
about it.
like Eric Larson, just always over exaggerated?
Oh,
so
everything.
Even have to bother. He
Yeah.
would just over exaggerate the force.
Yeah, he's gonna throw a
just became-
20-pound fist in your face and call
Yeah.
that foreshortening, and
That way he doesn't even have to think about it.
Yeah.
It's almost-
I
he's
did a
just
backup
cartooning.
story in Dragon for Eric, and I have all these little minor stories with all the image guys between Rod and Eric and all these guys that I don't know. And then it's just like Twitter is the worst thing for some people because it lets you get to know them better. And like Eric should have never gotten on Twitter because nobody needed to know him better.
Oh, I still really like his Spider-Man run because
I'm not picking on what he achieved because he was a very successful comic book artist. You can't deny that.
And
but
he was
it's
smart.
Like some people just
writing.
can't keep their mouths shut, whether it will help them or hurt them. And he kind of seems like one of those guys.
He was smart enough to know that he's not going to be writing the next great American novel when he wrote Spider-Man. So instead, he just threw in a bunch of guest appearances in every issue. It made it great. Like he had Ghost Rider. He had
he got that freedom to do it.
Yeah,
it's like he kind of like it's one of those right place, right time kind of things. Is like
they couldn't say no to those guys.
There's not an artist today that would get to do that, no matter how talented or fan favorite they were. Like Marvel and DC clamped down on that shit like the Iron Curtain, and it's
DC was
those guys were working in an era where there was freedom of creativity. They got to do it's like, oh, shocking, they got to do the fun stuff and the book sold a ton. And now when you pitch an editor an idea of like something that the fans might like that might be fun, it's like, oh no, we can't do that. It's like this ridiculous idea of like, oh, why aren't the books selling better? Here's a creative idea. Oh no, we couldn't possibly do that. That's too wild.
Yeah, DC had a lot of writers like, don't play with my toys in my sandbox.
Exactly. It was the
like
whole
a really competitive, really shitty. Like I had been on a few projects where like, well, why don't we do some guest appearances with other characters? And the editor's like, can't no. Writer's busy with those characters right now. And I'm like, it's comic books and it's superheroes. Like the character can't be in one issue of our stuff. What the fuck?
Yeah. No, I heard many horror stories. I'm not a big superstar comic book artist, but I have friends who are, and they don't play them on TV. And you would just hear the horror stories of like ideas pitched, like, oh no, we can't do that. It's like just fun ideas. Like, this is comics. Like, throw everything out there, give the fans what they want. And these editors got this idea of like, well, if you get the fans what they want, then what are we even here for? So it was their little power trip kind of thing of like shutting down great ideas, great storylines, fun things that the fans would actually like to just, and then now, like, and this was back 10, 15 years ago. Now it's like, let's just shovel crap onto the fans and make them choke it down. It's not even just shooting down fun ideas. It's like, we can't even get anywhere near a fun idea. We need to shit on everything And that's where comics are now, is like not even like turning down a bad idea or like a fun idea. It's like, don't even bring up fun ideas. We don't want to hear any of your ideas. Like, this is the propaganda that we're pushing, and either get behind it or you're not going to work for us.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need to be able to pay your bills. Dude, there was times Mark Bagley and I on Justice League, we did a San Diego Comic-Con pinup to promote Justice League, our Justice League run. By the time we got to Justice League, the book, most of those characters weren't even in the book.
Yeah.
Because they had, and it happened all the time where there's covers on Justice League from our run that characters on the covers were never in the
cover weren't in the book.
They weren't in the book, dude. You're like, what the? Like, I'd be like, I'm working on the covers because you work on the covers ahead. I'd be like, oh man, this is going to be a cool team for Justice League. And then when we get to that book, and I would remember and go, oh man, what happened?
And like, if you try to get a straight out or answer out editorial, they're not going to tell you anything, because they don't want to tell you that somebody else is telling them what to do. Like the editor of your book always wants you to think they're the ultimate power.
Yeah.
But then the editor is like, we're not getting to use this guy, and we're not getting to use this guy, and this is from above, and I'm just going to do what they say, and you're going to do what I tell you to. It's the trickle down, trickle down getting pissed on.
Starfire was supposed to be in Justice League. Cyborg was supposed to be in Justice League.
Because she's always been a
Guardian.
Titan.
Yeah, Guardian was supposed to be in there. Mon-El was supposed to be in it because we didn't have Superman. It was insane. Adam was supposed to be it. Adam was on the San Diego Comic-Con pinup trailer, or preview.
I was on the Avengers, and they suddenly threw in Captain Marvel because the movie was coming out. So she's like, suddenly comes in the book,
Well,
she's like,
did she have her
90%.
Did she have her long hair, Jimmy, or did she have her lesbian short haircut?
She had short hair. It was the short hair Captain Marvel with the same.
I hope she didn't smile.
Yeah, they just like. I should have my old videos up, but I don't have them handy. Is like my whole topic for last week that we never got to was. I think Brie Larson is legitimately. She's figured it out, and I think she is trying to win back fans.
Yeah.
She got thrown some hardball questions about Johnny Depp at the Cannes Film Festival, and she sidestepped them very, very smoothly, very elegantly, without like offending one side or the other. Whereas Brie from 2, 3, 4 years ago, I don't think she would have felt bad about throwing Johnny Depp under the bus. But I think she's seen the backlash that she's gotten over the last 3 years since the movie came out. And I think she realizes is like, you know what? Keeping my mouth shut and smiling once in a while and having a very successful career is not the worst thing in the world for me. Like, I think she's kind of changed her tune a little bit. And if she has, you know what? I respect that. It's like, being a superstar actor, guess what? It doesn't happen that often. And when it happens, don't rock the boat when you're on the top.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, especially because I've heard people who are wealthy, they'll say they're not wealthy because they still have to fly commercial. So, there's that weird perspective of, well, I'm not really rich because I don't have a private jet.
No.
My producers have private jets. I don't have private. So I wonder if a little bit of it is that, like, she's realizing, yeah. You've gotten some big paychecks, but they're all going to disappear unless you gotta play nice.
Oh, that's a different financial level. I'm not rich because I don't have my own private bathroom.
Yeah.
I know.
I still gotta go use the 7-Eleven. You gotta share it with the neighborhood.
And like, don't alienate your audience. Like her whole thing was ripping on white older movie critics and stuff, and it's like then you're like you're ripping on all old white guys because
Yeah.
every old white guy is a movie critic to some extent.
Does
I think
anybody know what Stippling Vaughn is talking about with Smallville, WB?
I clicked on that. I couldn't believe the article about Smallville fighting with WB. WB constantly said no to them, and it was a huge hit. I know Michael.
Does he mean CW?
Oh yeah, WB used to be CW, so he probably does. The Michael, whatever his name though is, that used to play Lex. He's got
Rosenbaum.
a podcast. Yeah, Rosemont.
Yeah, I listen to it all the time.
Oh, and it's epic. Like, dude.
Yeah.
he
It's
tells
really cool.
stories about Smallville. Yeah.
And he gets so many fun actors in there, and he gets them to talk about the bullshit behind the scenes that a lot of actors won't talk about. So like I give him full credit for getting a little bit of behind the scenes stuff. And I mean, he'll talk about the bullshit that was on CW. He'll bitch about writers. He'll bitch about specific episodes where like it made no fucking sense and stuff.
But
it's
dude,
hilarious.
What about the fact that Smallville never made money? Or I'm sorry, CW never made money. Even when Smallville was at its peak, CW, because of the way that they spent money, they would just take the profits from Smallville and spend them on other shitty shows.
And
CW was never profitable.
Whole Hollywood accounting thing. So I'm guessing this. I'm guessing the Hollywood accounting ties in a little bit what Stippling Vaughn is talking about here. And I mean, there's many horror stories in Hollywood about movies where like an actor was supposed to get points on the back end, and it's like, oh, this movie didn't make gross any profits, and it's like,
they hide it.
It did 150 million its opening weekend.
Yeah, and they just hide it. They hide it everywhere they can.
Yeah, so
there's
lots of ways to get screwed.
I'm trying to listen to Talkville in order, but I really want to hear about, and I know they're not to it yet, like the season 6, 7, and 8, where Smallville got really shitty because it was all soap opera drama, and they would always lead up to like a really big end. And then the big ends always sucked. The payoffs were terrible because the shows were so cheap at that point. Like Clark versus Doomsday. Clark punched him once down a hole, and that was the end. You're like, what the fuck just happened? You're like, you guys spent a year and a half hyping up Clark versus Doomsday, and it was over in 15 seconds.
You're giving me Star Wars flashbacks. They built up in A Force Awakens. Do you remember? They were building up the whole thing, and then
oh god, yeah.
What's his name? Kylo Ren just like takes his lightsaber and they just killed him off, and
big surprise.
Yeah.
This is, you want to hear fanboy daydreaming? Is like I have an iota of faith in James Gunn, whether I should or I shouldn't. I think he's a creative. I think he appreciates other creatives. I think he actually appreciates comic book writing and comic books as a creative form. But I also think he appreciates what other creators do. Like, multiverse is obviously, like, people know, the general audience, like, not the hardcore fanboys like us, not the comic book collectors, like Joe Blow, who goes and watches a superhero movie because he likes to go see movies, but doesn't collect comics. He knows what the multiverse is now. After Spider-Man No Way Home, 3 Spider-Mans show up, and mainstream audiences love that.
Oh,
that helps mainstream audiences understand what the multiverse is. They didn't know what it was before that. I think at some point they'll bring Cavill back as an older Superman. I think that's how they talk to him about it. And it's like, these are opportunities down the road, maybe not right now. But man, Lois, Lana, and Clark from the CW in a multiverse, just a glimpse in a
Oh,
movie
yeah,
from the
yeah.
CW, and Clark actually being in costume for the one fucking time ever.
Yeah.
If they ever did that in a multiverse thing,
Yeah.
like there's a generation that grew up on Smallville for those 10 seasons, man. And they're hardcore fans out there still, because you can see it on social media. Like Michael's podcast.
Yeah,
All the
Talkville.
TikTok.
It's
TikTok,
popular. Yeah.
Smallville is huge on TikTok.
Yeah.
And TikTok is a generation of people that are going to be spending money in about 10 years. So,
what's the topic that we had for today's stream?
did we hit any of our topic? I swear I hit one topic.
Yeah, we talked the ESG. We talked a little bit about ESG.
But on the thumbnail, isn't it? Who were we showing? Was it Bree? No. Who did you?
No, that was last. Oh, it was Star Wars. It was a Star Wars topic.
Oh, it is. It's a Star Wars. So I kind of touched on it when.
Yeah. We did it. Wait, it
I
was
don't understand that hitting.
we didn't talk about
topics.
Indiana Jones.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about Indiana Jones really fast.
Disney.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get Comic Book Bob in here, though. He just showed up, and the more the merrier.
Oh,
I can't type, though. That's as close as I'm getting to Comic Book Bob. Typing gets harder after a couple of cocktails.
I'm afraid about the multiverses. Just let.
First of all, hold on. I'm gonna give my whole pitch. This is a homage to X-Men 268, my favorite X-Men comic book by Jim Lee. If you're new to this channel, this is my comic book on Indiegogo right now. Go back it. You're gonna love it. It's superhero comics at its finest, and that's my whole pitch.
Oh, Comic Book Bob is at work.
He's at work.
He's saying
hi.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah. Well, you should scroll, Clint.
Okay. Well, I was gonna get him on, but if he's at work, I'll scroll some more.
Yeah.
Because I have a little bit of artwork on here.
You got a bunch of cool.
I love John Byrne. John Byrne is probably.
We all love John Byrne.
Yeah, I love John Byrne. I absolutely do. This is my homage to John Byrne. This is just like kind of an old school vibe, kind of 60s Avengers kind of comic. I wanted to just kind of do something retro looking. So I had a ton of fun drawing this cover. I loved all the floating heads. I loved getting the word balloons and everything in there, and kind of giving it that whole
hairdo. You gave it a 60s hairdo. It's perfect.
Oh yeah, the bouffant.
Yeah. Dude, I used to love that hair on all the 60s.
And there's just something about the look and everything and the feel and the vibe. It feels like an old school comic. And then, you got to have your big bads fight against each other. So this is a multiverse story. So these are characters in my corner of the multiverse that might remind you of characters in other parts of the multiverse. But this is my corner of the multiverse, and this is the Brute.
Yep, I see original characters.
Titan. So just a fun, like, I love you get the two biggest, strongest characters and like throw them against each other, and like who is the strongest. So just a fun. And so here's some interior art from the Superiors, just so you don't think I'm just putting all the work in the covers. Like, this is a very detail-oriented, multi-character. Like, I threw everything in here. There's no skimping on the story. There's no skimping on the art. The main book, once this clears, the main book is 48 pages, full story, no pinups, no filler. It's a full page, and all the artwork looks like this. So, yeah, I didn't spare any expense. I want this book and I want to build the Superiors. I've got more Superior stories. I want to do more with these characters. So by backing this book, you're just helping me do more books like this. So yeah, this is a passion project for me. I love superheroes. I love action adventure stories. I love escapism. And so that's everything I packed into this book. And I thank everybody who's backed it already. I thank everybody for being here in the chat. Love you guys showing up. Love bullshitting about comics and just whatever's going on in pop culture. This is just a ton of fun. An excuse for me to have a couple of cocktails without admitting I'm a full-blown alcoholic. Just a social drinker. But yeah, just a lot of fun, a lot of cool characters, a lot of action adventure, and yeah, you can see it. Like, yeah, I'm not skimping on the detail on the background.
The background is amazing. Yeah.
You're getting everything in this book. I'm trying to make it as cinematic and as kind of movie-esque as it can. There's 2 supplemental books. Let's see here. It's over here. 2 supplemental books. So it's the Early Visions, and I've been working on this book for a while. So Early Visions is earlier artwork. I pitched this book to publishers before, went through different styles. It's going to be a bunch of early artwork from the last 20 years for me. You can kind of see the styles and the artwork and pinups and stuff that I went through. If you're like somebody who likes art and likes to see like the development of a project, you're going to see kind of the different stages this book went through. And then the Who's Who book, a ton of characters in the Superiors. It's a full superhero team. So the Who's Who's book is like your typical DC Who's Who or a Marvel universe. It's going to have pinups of each of the characters, a breakdown of their origins, their powers, their backstory, all that kind of fun stuff that you might not get in the original story just because there's so much going on. And then there's going to be a bunch of pinups. If you're enjoying like the variant covers that I'm doing, there's going to be a bunch of the variant covers in the Who's Who book. So just a lot of artwork and get to know all the characters. So a lot of fun extras with that. So definitely check that out if you're interested in all that stuff. But
Clint, what page are you on for the artwork?
This
you
is
have
done.
A lot of pages. Oh, the whole thing is done?
The 48 page book. 48 page book is done.
Oh wow.
The Early Visions book is done. I'm gonna have to have that colored, but the coloring won't take long on that. And more than half of the Who's Who's book is done.
Oh wow.
Really the only thing I've got left to work on is just some of the Who's Who pages on various characters. But yeah, I will go in demand, but this book won't be in demand for very long. I'll plan on this campaign will end like about June 14th, June 15th, somewhere right in there. And I'll probably be in demand maybe a month.
Mm-hmm.
But this book will be ready to go to the printers this summer, and I would hope to be shipping the book out August, September. Like the delivery date is December.
You're going to be shipping before I do.
Yeah,
you rat bastard.
Like I like getting this stuff moving, and I like moving on to the next project. And you can always get these books it's like you're better off backing them now because I don't always put these books in the future campaigns.
Oh, you don't.
And
you don't do enough overprinting.
I wouldn't put this book out until I do September Superiors 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I would think the earliest I would do Superiors 2 is at least a year from now.
Yeah,
but it might be longer than that because I've got books, dude. Like I've got this idea I want to tell everybody about called Triple Threat.
Oh, dude, it's a good title. I already
I got like there is no limit. Like I just want to keep doing books, and I want to do sequels to each book. But like, yeah, I'm not short on ideas or concepts or characters. So yeah, like I want to do more with Superiors, but definitely if you're interested in Superiors, get this book now. And there's more to come. John Byrne is the legend. There's not hate for John Byrne. John Byrne just has a reputation for being difficult. And anything anything bad you've heard about John Byrne has been from his editors. And the only reason those editors bitch is because they're small-minded and not as creative as John Byrne. Like, if you're the editor for John Byrne, just get out of his way and let him create.
Yeah. You know, I know that his work got a little repetitive towards the end of when he was working for Marvel and DC. You know.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying, but like there's worse for the amount of work that he was putting out. That's probably the only reason that maybe you would say, but like the creative output, the dude was just a freaking juggernaut.
Oh, well, I really think that it was the time frame when he quit doing DC stuff. They were looking at how high his page rate was, versus the impression of his quality, from fans, versus we can hire 2 other artists for the same price.
It was behind the
maybe
scenes.
It
was behind the scenes political stuff and like editors with a chip on their shoulder too, and like and John did not mind going through and ruffling editors' feathers and putting them in their place. You could not get away with that with today's creators. The editors are firmly in control, whereas John Byrne was such a powerhouse. He was putting editors in their place.
Yeah,
and those editors did not appreciate it.
No, especially now, they just want a bunch of foreign talent that just
they want yes men.
The industry still has like there's a few creators that still have quite a bit of pull and power. Yeah,
but that's it.
They're creators that are running the show. There's very few freelance creators. And I mean, they'll sign contracts like the dude that's in the Bad Office now.
Ivan Rice?
No.
Ivan stuff?
Ivan, like, I haven't seen any of Ivan's stuff in a while. I know he's still doing stuff, but
he's doing amazing work. But
I love Ivan Rice. I'm not knocking Ivan. Ivan is, and I mean, everything he stole from Alan Davis is beautiful.
He did a great job.
And I'm not judging him one iota as somebody who has stolen a lot from a lot of other artists. But no, Sean Gordon Murphy can kind of write his own ticket right now, and I think he's got a contract with DC with Batman and stuff. But like you can count the artists that have control over their careers on one hand right now at Marvel and DC. It's just the power is shifted, and editorial doesn't want to give it back to the creators. So it's
most of the power is in the writers' hands now.
Yeah,
writers have the time to talk and hang out with the editors and create relationships with them. How many artists who are super successful artists can sit and talk about the story for 2 hours? No, dude, they gotta get back to the table. So
yep, absolutely. So we're gonna do the Indiana Jones topic, because then I think we didn't. We still didn't do Galactic Cruiser, but we'll do Indiana Jones. Well, what do we want to do?
Okay, Galactic Cruiser. That's the hotel that was overpriced, and it wasn't fan friendly, anyways. So of course
I think it was fan friendly. It wasn't it was priced so freaking outrageous.
Well, it wasn't really cool fan stuff. It wasn't like stormtroopers checking you in and stuff.
Yeah, no,
especially for the price.
I think if you and me showed up there and Jimmy and we'd have a good time, but not.
Yeah, but we would drink
$5,000 a night.
Yeah,
like who is paying that?
Dude, for $5,000 a night, the swimming pool better look like Tatooine, and I should be sliding down on Jawa Cruiser themed slide.
And every night, Padme should be finishing me off before I go to bed, so I can rest easily for $5,000 a night. Jesus Christ,
Clint, it's Orlando, so you could easily find a
I
cute
could
chick
I
who
could
looks
find
like
my
her.
own Padme.
As long as our beds are like a TIE fighter, an X-wing, Y-wing, we can pretend battle each other,
Well,
That'd be
dude, that's
fun.
the thing. I don't think they had anything fun like that. I don't think there was anything like super fun. There's like,
Well, and the
Man.
thing was, they had like a live show, so it's
Oh.
almost like you got the theater department.
yeah,
You
who
know,
cares?
Yeah, and it's like sometimes it's like dinner theater, and sometimes that stuff works, and sometimes it's like just looks cheesy as shit. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
like
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah,
what
for
what
for
is the
$5,000 a
level?
night, I want to walk into a lobby that looks like it's supposed to be part of George Lucas's movie sets.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, holy shit, it looks like the Cruiser. You know?
Well, and another mistake. Oh, yeah, is that
Is this a fan? This has got to be a fan, right?
It probably is.
This is
Like
valet.
cosplay.
This is valet.
And it's like, can
This is
somebody
Valet picks you up and-
trim the shrub brush? I don't remember. I don't remember
Isn't that the character that was part of the anime? It wasn't really.
Because look at
it
this
wasn't
chick here.
canon.
She's got
It
her.
was. It
Like-
kind of.
But this is the show.
If this is what
Wait,
they're
is that-
selling for $5,000 a night,
You
like
get the
this
party
ain't
in there
quite
and-
cutting it. Because this
No.
looks like
We don't
bad
serve your
dinner.
kind here.
It looks like bad dinner theater, and it looks
Yeah.
like.
And cheap dinner, cheap
Yeah.
bad dinner.
And
I don't know what she's
the
doing,
people
though.
that are like theater majors,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
people that like they kind of give off that cheesy quality.
So like,
Yeah.
That looks
I'm gonna
like
do
the
this
people
until I
that
get a
are
role in a
good.
Disney film.
Yes. Like those doors. Those doors better swish.
Yeah,
They better
Like,
swish
they're
when I walk
And
through
a
them.
stormtrooper better walk in and hit his helmet as he's walking in,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
like the
Yeah.
original Star Wars.
For
Yeah.
for $5,000 a night, I want an immersive, and like even just this picture, like the backgrounds look nice and all. This doesn't look
These are.
immersive at
I don't
all.
see one character in there I care about. Not one.
Well, also look at this. Is this the whole hotel, or is this just where the dinner theater is?
I think it's like they've got the
I'm guessing
main
the
rooms.
whole hotel doesn't look like this. I
Well,
kind of doubt it.
it does down the hallways and stuff. I think it does.
I want Jawas chasing me. If I'm paying $5,000 a night,
Yeah, I want to have a side hustle. But good, the
Well,
Jawas hook me up with
I
some
wanna-
side hustle. Be like, hey, what are you guys selling?
yeah, I want a Jawa
Yeah.
to valet my car.
Yeah,
You
send me a
know,
piece
so-
of R2D2, or something.
So they got to hire tiny people to be Jawas, and
Yeah,
they got a booster thing to park my car for me.
The thing is Star Wars has a huge fan base, and it's not going to be all families. It's like there's some single dudes that want to go have a
It's
nice
almost
Star
all
Wars
single
weekend.
dudes.
And like, where the fuck is Padme in her half shirt and shit? Like, where are
Where's
the
Leia?
single
Slave
girls?
Leia. Yeah, where's Slave Leia?
Where are the single girls in Mos Eisley and shit? It's like
The single guys who are going to spend $5,000 a night are
I
not
want some
spending
Star
it
Wars.
at the Disney
Star
hotel.
Wars skinks. I want some Star
Yeah.
Wars skinks floating around.
The nerds that have grown up and made money on Silicon Valley,
If I'm spending the week, if I'm spending the weekend
Silicon
on
Valley,
Tatooine,
Silicon or Silicon? Silicon is a different valley.
hey,
Either one.
We know what
Make
Jimmy's
money
thinking
off
about.
both.
Jimmy's thinking about dropping the $5,000 at a strip club.
Yeah,
He's not
like
thinking
Vegas.
about
no,
$5,000 at
but
a
like
hotel.
this is a little. I think this is a little bit of the problem.
Yeah.
Is they need to have a little bit more Vegas in them. You can
Yeah.
have if you want people spending that kind of money, you can
It's
have
gotta
the
be
family
Vegas.
friendly, but you also
Well,
need a different aspect. Like
five-
Vegas gets both
$5,000
bases.
$5,000 a night. No family's going to this at $5,000 a night. Families.
No.
can
Oh,
barely-
but they are. But well. I mean, they're not.
It's-
They were early on. Rich people.
It's going to be single rich people that and they need to cater to them. They need to adjust to who's actually going and reserving.
They totally misjudged what the audience would be for this, and that's why it's shut down. It hasn't been a year open.
Oh,
So
my
like
God, yeah.
like this is
Art said the same thing about Disneyland. Art said that when they added the Star Wars attractions to Disneyland, he says they raised the prices of everything from food to hotels.
Is there any more?
It hurt them.
Any more pictures of this, like this place, or I'm curious. Like,
oh yeah, let me scroll down and see,
Is-
because I think they've got a few images.
Yeah, people in chat said that it was too much about the dumb characters that we don't care about.
in
Not
that-
enough
Well,
Luke
see,
and
guess what?
Chewie.
If the girl
the-
looked like this in Star Wars Land,
Star,
Yeah,
Wars,
that's
we
the
make
only
that
thing
face right there, like Gomer Pyle. But
Star Wars strippers.
look at the dude way back there holding the purse. It was all up for his wife. Like the dude way in the back in the green. Do you see him in that photo?
Yes.
He's way back there in a green t-shirt holding his wife's purse. She's out there having fun. She's dressed up like one of these characters eating a lollipop and having fun.
yeah,
He's back
and
there.
dude's just sitting there in his shorts. Well, and that's the other thing is like,
those are the
if you're in this, wouldn't you want to be dressed up? I don't want to see, if I'm in this, I don't want to see anybody else in regular clothes. I want to see everybody in like a Star Wars outfit, and I want to wear one too. I want it to be totally immersive. I don't want to see some dude in khaki shorts and a polo. You know what I mean?
yeah, with a Death
Like
Raider watch
it's
on his
either
wrist.
immersive or
Oh,
it isn't. Yeah, I
What
think they just
Sponsored by Death
like
Raider
missed
watches.
the mark.
sponsored by Death Raider watches.
I want to have a drink. I want to eat at Jabba's palace. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, dude. See, he gets it. Sibling Vaughn gets
What?
it. You know what I mean? Like that's
Think about how much money Disney has sunk into this,
Yeah.
and they had to
Think how
shut it
much
down. They had to shut it down in a year.
Dude,
Like-
yeah, think of how expensive it was to build a hotel like that.
Like everybody talks about the Disney movies. What Disney makes money off of is the theme parks, and some people know this and some people don't. The movies are literally just advertising for the theme parks because they kill it at the theme parks. And the fact that now this is the second Star Wars theme park. The first one is still going, what is it, out in California with the Millennium Falcon.
Disneyland, well, they both have that stuff.
Yeah, and I
Disneyland
think
and
they're
Disney
doing
World.
they're doing okay, but you
Yeah.
don't hear that they're just killing it there, which they should be.
Well,
And
they,
now that
like
the
I said, they
hotel-
raised all the prices on
Yeah.
everything. So,
and now the
yeah.
hotel is shut down. It's
Yeah,
like,
this is I got a question.
yep,
Okay, so the hotel can't sell the rooms for $5,000. The hotel is already built, right?
Yeah.
So why don't you just like I can't see them like spending so much money on the themes, like the people
Yeah.
dressed up in doing the stupid dinner theater. Like that can't be so expensive that they, you know what I just can't understand why they just don't lower the prices, because everything else has already been paid
Yeah.
for it. The place is already built.
like
Just lower the
running it and having a few theater majors in there playing specific characters.
I bet you
Yeah, like-
everybody in this photograph right here, not one of them has seen a Star Wars movie.
yeah, but so like you're like, well, okay, we have to charge $5,000 a night because to run the hotel it costs $3,000 a night per room. You're like, no, it doesn't. You already built the hotel.
Yeah.
You already did all this stuff. The expenses already paid. Just
Yeah.
lower the price and try to get more
and
people.
get more people through there. Like
Yeah.
like make it a maximum. You can say 2 or 3 days, lower the price, get more people through the turnstiles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're
Try
saying.
to sell more merch. Try to sell more merch. It's not like they spent $40 million on R2 robots that zip
Right.
around and bring you your drinks.
I think
It
another
has to be
one of
constantly
the
maintained. So
one of the major problems that we haven't touched on is they specifically aimed at like the theater part of it, where like they have the show and you're sitting in there.
yeah,
It's all new Star Wars. It's all Disney Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's all Rey and Kylo. The people that are fans of Rey and Kylo don't have the money for this hotel. The
no,
people,
yeah.
Yep. The people that
it's
have the
new
money for this
Gen Z
hotel.
and millennial.
Yep. The people that have the money for this hotel are Luke, Han, and Leia fans.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and there is everything is aimed at Rey and Kylo in the live shows, from what I've seen. Like there's a whole live show with Rey and Kylo, and they have a lightsaber fight, and it's set up and it's neat and everything. But though that is not the audience that has the money for this hotel. Like, those are 20 and 30-year-olds. They're not spending that money for this show. The people that you should have targeted this all at and had C-3PO and R2-D2 and Chewbacca, and then had stand-ins for Han and Leia and Luke. That's the audience that this needed to be aimed at. And I don't know how they didn't realize that. And then that's I think,
you know why they don't? They don't, because they have to pay George Lucas a royalty when they use those characters.
And that's I think part of what they were trying to avoid. But
and it's a weird corporate mentality where they're worried about those nickels.
Guess what? Your hotel is closed after a year.
Yeah, yep. and you overpriced it. You literally trying to get $5,000 a room. So what are you thinking?
Oh yeah, and
my wife and I, we
sales
went
non-existent. Hasbro's making licensing fees.
Yeah. My wife and I went to Universal. I think it was last year, and we saw the Bourne Identity live theater, show, and it was horrible. Like, you see all these actors doing all these stunts, and it was after the first 2 minutes of watching it and seeing, oh wow, that's clever. And then you're just like, I have to stay here for another 20 minutes and watch the same shit over and over. Oh. I wonder if they had, because there was a lot of moving sets.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to make it like it's all this motion and the actors are tumbling and they're jumping on grappling because it's Bourne Identity. So there's all these dumb fight scenes and stuff. So I'm wondering if, see this photo to make it look worse. Yeah. They might have had part of the show was like that, where there is an expense, a reoccurring expense to put on the show. Just get rid of it, man. I mean, obviously it's a failure.
And that's the thing is, so a live show is really hard to pull off. Like if you I love Vegas. I go to Vegas. Some live shows work and some live shows don't. And it's just like it's a thin line between what works for an audience when they're sitting there and they're going to be excited, and what is like, oh Christ, we got our meal, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Well, Randy says that it could only hold 100 guests, and I don't know that. I guess that's my question is.
It is
why
small.
Is there so much overhead?
Small. I don't think they have. Yeah. I don't think the hotel is huge. Yeah. And that's why the prices are so skyrocketed. Yeah. And that's the other thing is, are they going to expand? If they expand, then do the prices come down?
Oh, well, Eric is saying just they probably looked at it. We're not making money on it. Let's just take a loss. It's a tax deduction.
And that wouldn't surprise me at all. Like Disney could write this off and
write it off and rip it down and put in a new theme.
Building. This is pocket change in Iger's couch, so.
Well, Disney has a lot of take a loss.
No, Disney's been taking losses left and right lately. Yeah.
Is there another photograph of this hotel? I'm really curious.
No, there probably is, but I don't have one pulled up to find. But we've covered how shitty. We've covered how shitty Star Wars is, so let's cover the other thing that Disney crapped all over.
And I watched this trailer. I watched this Indiana Jones trailer.
Wherever you are, Marcus, fuck you, because we're covering all the goddamn topics tonight. Me and Rob are pros, and God bless Jimmy for being here and sitting through all of this bullshit. But man. When we talk about topics, we talk about topics or something.
Anna and I last night
next time, Jimmy, can you bring Anna on? Because
I should. Right?
I know Rob is gorgeous, but
Thank you.
But the show would be great with Anna too.
we made a movie night last night, and we watched.
Nice.
We watched a couple of movies, and one of the movies that we decided to watch was Quantum
Mania.
Mania.
Oh, Quantumania.
Yeah, that was
What
fun.
is
It was a
And
fun movie. Did you like it?
we couldn't even get through it.
Yeah,
You
I'm
couldn't?
kind of with Jimmy on this.
Oh, I liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun.
The opening scene was okay, and then I liked all the Mobius ripoffs they used in their design in the quantum realm or whatever.
Yeah.
It was all straight Mobius ripoffs, but it was like we were like, what the hell is this movie about? Like,
Yeah,
what?
that's kind of where I was.
It was so bad, dude. We got through maybe 30 minutes of it, and
I watched it.
I liked it, but it did feel like they were trying to do Marvel's version of Star Wars.
Yeah,
that's what Anna
with all
said.
the aliens.
Yeah.
She
Yeah,
said
Marvel's
that
version of Star Wars.
She's like, this feels like Star Wars. Are they trying to do a crossover or something?
Yeah,
It was-
I was like,
a lot of weird alien stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like it was too much. Like Ant-Man was barely a part of that movie, first of all.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
The whole movie was about like, look at all the special effects, look at all these look at all these aliens.
Yeah.
Like who cares about the story? Look at how gorgeous everything looks. And it's like, that's cool, but I need a story in front of all the cool special effects.
Gotta be a story, yeah.
And like, I need to care about these characters. Like, I like Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd, to me, it didn't feel like he was even in the movie. And like him and Evangeline Lilly, like, oh, you guys are in love with each other? Thanks for letting us know, because I didn't like. They were barely in a scene together.
Yeah.
The new daughter, like, I love that actress. She's from Supernatural. I think she's awesome. It was just like hard to care about any of the characters, and it was just like slapping special effects on everything.
When they got Michelle Pfeiffer and they gave her an action scene where she fights these guys and flips them over, we were so embarrassed. We were like, oh my God, she's so old. And like, there's no way at all, And then she's trying to do what she thinks is a superhero pose, every time. And then she kept making this one face, like, I guess because of the surgeries. She's only got one expression now. And it's always like,
well, I'm sure she's got Botox.
Yeah, well, like she's definitely got work done, But
I appreciated the fact that Disney, when it came to Kang, he was a lot more like Iron Man in this movie than in Loki, because in Loki it was all that stupid time replay. Like, it made him so powerful, and it was a boring character that I was like, we didn't see any of that stupid time bullshit, and I really was happy for that. Instead they had him in his Kang armor, actually getting punched and getting thrown and blasting things with his energy weapons.
Well,
because that Loki stuff was painful.
Well, spoilers, but like, what did you guys think of the last scene with all the alternate Kangs?
Wait, what movie is this again?
This is Jimmy only watched the first 30 minutes.
Didn't
see the end.
That's right.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Marvel always does the end scene, so we don't need to talk about it. I don't like spoiling it for other people.
I just got to that part of that chick that was in the Mandalorian that y'all were talking about. That was really her trap was always like all the way up to her ears.
I don't know how to feel about her, Jimmy. How do you feel about her?
When I saw her in the Mandalorian, I was like, oh yeah, she could be cute, give her some, different haircut, I think. And then
how did you feel when you saw her shoulder?
I was envious. I was like, damn, I want to be ripped like that.
Like she's one of those weird girls. She's very androgynous, but she is also very pretty. But she is also very ripped. Like,
she was ripped. You guys weren't kidding.
Yeah. So
I only got to that scene where she appears in there.
It was very interesting for me seeing her in both roles, because in the Mandalorian, she's wearing the not what is it, the Alliance suit. So she's so it's only her face, and she has a very androgynous look, but she's also very pretty, striking. She has very bold, striking eyes. So I've gotten a kick out of her, and especially talking to other people about like, what do you think of that girl? And just like, the one thing she does, she gets everybody's attention. So it's like that's what you want to do. You're going to be an actor.
She might live in my neighborhood. Like we saw a girl from behind. We have these trails that go through nature out here.
Nice.
And we saw this woman with tattoos on her arms, and she was built, man. She was ripped, and she was walking a bully, like a smaller pit bull with those bullies, and it was ripped too. And they're both strolling down the trail, and I was like, oh my god.
It's like you want to follow, but like how comfortably can I follow? At what distance?
Yeah.
At what point does she like just turn around and kick my ass?
I gotta go. I gotta clean up cat puke. My cat's puking in the background. So
Christ. We've been going all night. So you know what? We're gonna just wrap it up. Have we been going 2.5 hours?
Yeah.
Jesus. Almost 2.5. Yeah.
Somebody's got to cut me off. Rob, sorry. Yeah. We're out. Thanks everybody in the chat, man. Thank you guys for hanging out. Check out our campaigns. Everybody have a great week this week, and hail Comicsgate. Thank you, Jimmy, for being here. Thanks, Rob. I always love enjoy cleaning up.
I love you too, Clint.
Nah, you know it, baby. You know it, baby. Everybody have a great week. We're gonna be out, and let's cut it off right here.
All right, bye.